Hello everyone and welcome to RacerTV's coverage of the Powerline Park GNCC. It's fall, the leaves are changing and the temps are dropping, but the action's heating up on the track. In XC1, it's Walker Fowler versus Adam McGill for the points championship, but we have a new player this week. Newly crowned XC2 champion, Cole Richardson throwing his hat into the ring. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the action from the Powerline Park here in St. Clairsville, Ohio.
And thanks. To the line first today. He is currently ranked first in points. A native of the great Buckeye state of Ohio, he calls this Powerline Park GNCC his home. Hailing from Rogers, Ohio on an NFAB and Pro Yamaha, backed by Maxxis, MXP, and Lone Star, Walker Fowler. Rolling to the line today, second in points. Second in points today, aboard the number 521 from West Union, West Virginia, on a CST, Pirate MX, LSR, DeRisi, Tire Blocks, SG, that's Spider Graphics Racing Honda, Adam McGill. Rolling to the line today, third in points. He shed his skin to be named the Cobra from Casca, Pennsylvania, on a JMR ATVRiders.com Honda, Jared McCall. Points. He is a six-time GNCC champion. He has won the ITP Powerline Park 7 times over the course of its last 14 times. Can he get back to his winning ways today? From Sunbury, Pennsylvania, on the Maxxis Fly Factory Yamaha, Chris Borich. Rolling to the line today, fifth in points. He rides aboard the number 6 from Bidwell, Ohio, on a Maxxis B. Neal Motorsports backed Yamaha, Bryson Neal. To the line next today, sixth in points. He rides aboard the number 7 from Irwin, Pennsylvania, on a Bithell Racing Maxxis Precision Back Suzuki, Chris Bithell. Rolling to the line today, seventh in points, aboard the number 9, the young one from Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, on a Coastal Waynesburg MXP Axis Lone Star Yoshimura backed Yamaha, Jay Shedron. Rolling to the line next today, riding aboard the number 341 from Edina, Ohio, on a Fast Tracks Wolf Racing Honda, Brian Wolf. Of racing in the pro class from Aurora, Ohio, on a GBC Yamaha HMF backed Yamaha, Johnny G, Johnny Gallagher. And rolling to the line today, 10th in points aboard the number 14 from Manchester, Maryland. On the show hauler, Maxxis Cycle Barn backed Honda LW, Landon Wolf. Rolling to the line next today, riding aboard the number 5. His debut ride as an XC1 Pro Class racer on an Infab and Pro Yamaha, backed by Maxxis, MSP, and Lone Star from Edinburgh, Pennsylvania, Coltrane Cole Richardson. Rolling to the line next aboard the number 13 from Akron, Ohio, on a Maxxis BNR Moose Racing Yamaha, Josh Merritt. Welcoming back to the GNCC Racing Nation, aboard the number 997 from Petersburg, Indiana, on the Sick Racing Honda, Marshall Goings. Rolling to the line next, he rides aboard the number 934, hailing from Marietta, Ohio, on a Team Woodhead Volvo Motorsports Maxxis backed Honda, Braden Hinthorn. Rolling to the line next, riding aboard the number 12, another one of Ohio's hopes, from Hopedale, Ohio, on a B&R GBC Yamaha, Kevin Yoho. And last, and certainly not least, rolling to the line aboard the number 15 from Montrose, West Virginia, on a Sturdivant Racing Honda, Brent Sturdivant. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for this ITP Powerline Park GNCC. And the stage is set at GNCC Racing. Is only moments away from getting underway here in the great state of Ohio. The 14th year, our 15th running of this Powerline Park GNCC, and what a great day we have on tap. It's a little breezy, it's a little cool. Actually, it's a lot cool, and it's real chilly here in Ohio today as a low pressure system moved through the area, and it feels like old man winter is already beginning to bring down the winter weather as he has camped out here in southeast or northeastern Ohio, I guess we could say. And the folks at Powerline Park are all dressed up and geared up for it. And the mud holes are all dressed up and geared up and ready for these riders as it's waiting on them at the 11-mile marker, the Powerline mud hole. As the blue flags are out, my friends, and we are mere moments away from going GNCC racing here in Ohio for the second time in 2015. As we turn our attention to Ricky Towery, 1 minute, guys. 1 minute before the start of this race. And as we get set to go, we've got a couple of things. These riders are going to be not only racing for the win today, but also a hole shot opportunity. It's the all balls and hot cams hole shots, as we got $250 up for grabs for the XC1 Pro class, another $100 for the XC2 Pro-Am class, and thanks to hot cams and all balls racing, as we are now down less than 30 seconds. Shut them down, guys. Shut them down. Shut them down. Shut them down. We are almost ready to go here in Ohio. As I look around, I see the fans have been pouring in all day long, and we got a nice crowd here at the start. Now I got to ask you, Ohio race fans, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Come on, Ohio. We're right smack dab in the middle of the GNCC Racing Nation. I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you ready to go ITP Powerline Park GNCC Racing? 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling here at the Powerline Park GNCC. Adam McGill looking for the $250 hole shot today, and he's going to grab it. It's Walker Fowler right behind him, and Chris Borich opens up in the number 3 spot on the number 1. There's Kevin Yoho back in the number 5 position. And is that Cole Richardson back in fourth, I believe, right now. As the XC2 Pro-Am class gets set the road. Monty Christopherson, Fred Marley, Randy Hamilton, James Green, Wes Kinsley, Jonathan Fugate, Levi Cohen, Robbie Picarori, A.J. Coots, Luke Shepard, Kenny Schick, Cody Collier, Danny Rogers, Bryson Hops, Rylan Johnson, Andrew Connors, Cameron Bruce, Michael Lancaster, Brad Avon, and Chris O'Neill. $100 up for grabs in our next hole shot for the XC2 Pro-Am class. Thanks again to All Balls and Hot Cams as we get set to roll in 10 seconds. Around the first turn. Whoa, riding on two wheels. It's a 22 of James Green. Green out of St. Mary's, West Virginia on the JK Racing AC Motorsports Pirate MX back machine. Little carnage there in turn two as they tried to cut that turn a little short. Looking down to the Vet 828 plus class now. Big Papa Pete, Jeff Pickens along with Todd Demery, Whetstone, Nick Conelli, Brad Wilson, Kenneth Kelly, Walt Shoemaker, Jesse Toigo, Brandon Summers, Dustin Hendershot, Adam Reed, Corbin Knox, Matt Hanna, and Matt Pierce, a relative who's who of some of the fast guys from a few years ago anyway. And they are ready to roll here in the Vet 828 plus class as Ricky Towery gets set to ready them and let them know it's time to go GNCC racing here in a matter of only 10 seconds for our Vet 828 plus. Who's going to grab the early lead, the advantage here in the Vet A class? Whoa! I don't know, that might have been Brad Wilson, the 356. A little tough to point out. There's a couple of guys right there making things happen, it looked like. College 16 to 21-year-old Christian Meyer, Brandon Barnes, Drew Lander, Nick Royalty, Kyle Percy, Clint Graff, Dusty Bell, Devin Freehon, Brandon Eicher, Corey Silverthorne. 10 seconds. Noah Landis, Greg Covert, Anthony Barnes, Wesley Wolf, Tyler Wares, Josh Haney, and Bodie Lambro. And we have seen the top amateur come out of this class the last several races. Opening up with the early lead, though, the 48, Christian Meyer. Wesley Wolf back to third, now jockeying for second. He'll open up in the number 2 spot, now pass for the number 2 spot. I'm sorry, he was in third, now he's in the second. As we go next to junior A22 plus class, talking about Nathan Hornacek. Make sure I didn't turn 2 papers at once there. College A, that's who that was. Here's the junior A, Nathan Hornacek, Michael McAvoy, Matthew King, Justin Paul, Simon Bissell. Also Dustin Piggott, Joshua Beach, Robert Heckman. 10 seconds. Old Duck Lloyd, also Todd Burr, Dustin Burkhammer, Brandon Rimray, Steve Covert, and Dwight Pollard. Trying to get it all sorted out here now out of that first turn. It is the 33 of Michael McAvoy from Chester, West Virginia, grabbing the early lead. Nathan Hornacek out of Norton, Ohio, finds himself on his head in that second turn as he tries to remount and refire that machine now. Track crew checking to make sure he's all right. I'm all right, just let me go. Senior AB, 38 plus, John Galata, Aaron Delancey, Joe Gower, Brian Foltz, Mark Batson, also Josh Shear, Andy Cooper, Mike Muskop. Mark and Dale Batson, brothers from the Media All-Stars. 10 seconds. Senior AB, 38 plus class. Got a little story to tell about the Batson boys here later on here on RacerTV.com. A couple of great brothers and chums that race across the nation all the time. As we're looking at, wow, was that Andy Cooper? Possibly grabbing an early lead there. We'll check in with that in a minute. Vet B 30 plus class, Jeremy Gouchard, the Marlboro Man, Todd Muscala, David Rudder, Charlie Rogers, Craig Wilson, Lyle Morrison, Gregory Westfall, Sean Stuck, James Cook, John Salsa, John Colvin, Mark Harrop, Dale Batson, Daniel Webb, Brian Locke, Phil Cole, Rick Robb, and looks like Nathan Pierce. Less than 10 seconds to go now for these Vet B30 Plus class riders. Green flag waves on this one, and they're off. And as I told you, Batson in that one class, Dale Batson in the Vet B class here. And College B coming up next, the 16 to 21. Spencer Modlin, Mark Miller, Dustin Atkinson, Matthew Cooker, Joseph Yorkinson, Charles Dawson, Eli Kiger, Mitchell Edelblue, Mason Pratt, Bobby Duker, Weston Scott, Donald Boylan, Peyton Wallace. Also got Cameron Horton, Frankie Grass, Blake Meyer, Braden Schick. 10 seconds. Nathan Burkholder, Jeremy Hill, Cody Wallace, Chandler Berner, Nicholas Masterlango, Tyler Creel, Ryan Bovis, Scott Pearson, and Tanner Walker off and rolling now. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Who ended up with that lead? Wow, that one was like stolen, like right at the last second. And that one's going to be a good one to watch, I'm sure. When we go down to the Junior B 22 Plus class, I believe our last class on the road here today, Eric Holofield. We got Robert Mapp, Brett Fike, along with Matthew Ellison, James Mauger, Chris Siriana, Liam Cater, Caleb Bailey, Brian Felicki, Jay Turner, Chris Riddle, Evan Soda, PP, Ben DeMarco, Mitchell Boyce. 10 seconds. Justin Farrell, Chasen Bush, Chase Kolb, Alan Tubble, Cody Wolford, and Dustin Dickerson ready to roll in the Junior B 22 Plus class. Green flag on this one. They're off and rolling. I'm going to say that was Chris Siriana out of Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, where we were just a few weeks ago, grabbing the hole shot, but it looks like he might have got overtaken there kind of quickly. But regardless, the race is on, and some, 160 or so of our afternoon ATV riders are now traversing the course here at the Powerline Park GNCC. And, of course, we'll catch up with what's going on here in this lap number one and how things are all going to unfold and what's this championship going to look like at the end of this 2 hours. Stick around to find out. RacerTV continues right after this. Hey folks, listen, I got a GMC key. Check your pocket. Check your pocket. If you know anybody, I got a GMC key. I'm going to leave this laying right here for a few minutes. Not Roy's. Hey Roy, how you doing, man?
This RacerTV live broadcast is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. By Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready. By Maxxis Tires, find your flow. And powered by Yamaha Generators.
Welcome back to GNCC Racing Live here at Ohio Powerline Park. We've got beautiful weather. This is racing weather.
It's fall, Fred. you know what? The temperatures are dropping, the leaves are dropping, but one thing's heating up here, the competition. Walker Fowler's got the points lead. Adam McGill wants it, man.
Yeah, you know, coming in here today, I would think Walker Fowler would have the upper hand. Me, racing in Ohio, being here, I know when I come to Ohio races, I have extra energy, extra strength, and you've got so many fans out there. The ball's really in your court, but Adam McGill's not going to let him play like that.
You know, and that's the thing about Adam McGill. Everywhere's his home turf. He considers every track his home track. The McGill Mafia, man, they travel, they hit the whole circuit with him. And you know what? Each and every event he goes to, he goes into as he's the favorite.
Yeah, you know, Adam McGill has that Mafia, but we've got the Walker Fowler Ohio fan base here, so I myself look for Walker Fowler to put that to use. I think he's the guy to beat today. He knows he should win, where Adam McGill's kind of, he knows he should win too, don't get me wrong, but it should be Walker Fowler's day. We're in Ohio, Walker Fowler's backyard. This is Walker Fowler's track. Walker's here to make a statement.
And he should do that without question. He has that moral support. He has that ego boost right now. He has that level of confidence that only comes from being at home. But like I said, everywhere Adam goes, he doesn't consider himself an underdog anywhere.
And Adam McGill got the whole shot. So there goes my theory of Walker Fowler dominating this race from start to finish. But, you know, with Adam McGill getting the whole shot's a great thing because these two guys are going to be a dogfight all day long. They know it's coming down to these last two races to who's going to be a champion. And that's what we want to see. We want to see great racing, GNCC. We always see it. And today is going to be no different. You know, we're going to have a little bit of dust out there. We've got the mud hole. There's just been people pouring and pouring and pouring down to that big giant mud hole down there.
Hey, Fred, since you were a 125 intermediate motocrossing, we love to see a series go to the last race. We love to see the last round matter. And it's absolutely going to do that once again here in our XC1 class in GNCC ATV racing. And I can tell you, one thing about Walker Fowler, one thing about Adam McGill, one thing about Chris Borsch. Those guys have all been there. They've all done that. So this one's really a book written in heaven for us, bud.
Yeah, sure it is. As you can see here on the TV here, out in the open, we've got a little bit of dust flying, but luckily we do have the wind on our side, so it's kind of blowing it out of the way. And the woods are really good. And you know, another guy I need to talk about from Ohio is the Cole Train. I look for him to really make his chance and maybe be in the top three today.
You know, I was going to mention the wild card factor, the joker factor, but no joker. The Coltrane, Cole Richardson, I believe, come around the first turn in 4th place, so already interjecting himself into the mix, taking no quarter from any of these guys that have been there all season. He wrapped up that XC2 Pro Lights Championship last week, Fred, 2 weeks ago, Fred, and the bottom line is he wants to prove he's XC1 worthy. He's ready. The guy's been on the podium from the second row on a XC2 Pro Lights row and made an overall podium so far. What's he going to do from the front?
Well, he's got his work cut out for him because off the start, his seat fell off.
Oh, my goodness.
So he ended up starting from dead last.
I did not see that. Wow. So when he rounded the first turn, the seat fell off.
Yeah, so he's got some work cut out for him, but, you know, nothing he hasn't been into before and that he can't handle. So, you know, he's not really from Ohio, but he lives right there on that Ohio border by me and by Walker Fowler, so I kind of consider him being a little bit of an Ohio boy.
So you guys kind of label him Buckeye?
Yeah.
Honorary Buckeye?
Yeah, we're gonna take him under our wing and see what he can do out there today. You know, there's a lot of good racing going on. There's a lot of spectators here. Ohio's a big draw for us. Like you said, Rodney said earlier, you know, this is the heart of the GNCC nation. You know, Ohio's a big pull, so it's going to be exciting for everybody. You know, there's going to be fans everywhere, all at the mud holes, and people are going to be coming back up after the race, and they're going to be mud head to toe. You're not even going to even know what color clothes they had on, and that's, people look forward to this race all year long. I came in here about 8:30 this morning in the line. It took me like 45, 50 minutes just to get in.
Fred has looked that way since basically Thursday night. You know, we let some of the vendors and stuff in on Thursday. Then first thing Friday, we opened the gates. But my goodness, Fred, they were almost down to the new construction on Thursday night, waiting to camp out Friday night and get in first thing, or I'm sorry, Thursday night, first thing Friday morning.
Yeah, you know, that's just the heritage of this place here at Powerline Park. You know, it's been on the series for a long time. The spectators have so much stuff to watch, and there's so much fun going on here, and people come and camp out and make a big giant weekend of it, and it's really good. You know, it shows, you know, it's like a family sport. You bring your kids, you bring your wife, you just go out and walk around, and you can always see something exciting. It's not boring to anybody at all, and we're going to have some really good racing here today. We're got the 6 mile marker here. You know, it's out there in the center of the property there, so they're on the backside. They're going to be going into Gus's mud hole, and Dead Deer Hollow and all those places. You know, we've got some really cool names for different spots on this track, so it's going to be interesting to see who's still leading. You know, Adam McGill was leading last time we saw, but, you know, as you know, Rodney, that means, Rodney, sorry, but it means nothing, you know. It's changing every time, every corner, every place you go.
You know, and I think that's regional about our nicknames out here. You know, it's kind of a West Virginia, PA, Ohio thing, you know, Dead Deer Hollow and Gus's Mud Hole and Screw Ridge, you know, that kind of thing. It's a kind of regional thing, and you talk about the talent come out of the Ohio area for years, whether you talk about Mark Hyde, you talk about the Connors, yourself, Fred, Moto Mercenary for years, both motocross and off-road, the Penton brothers, just a lot of talent coming out of this area, and that's why you see that crowd of people you see down there at the Mud Hole right now. They love it. They're born into it. You know, a lot of these third and fourth generation racers out here today with us.
Yep, sure is. You can see the people are lined up down here just to watch all the action, and the best part about it is these guys aren't afraid. You get stuck, they're going to jump in there and help you.
Hey, Fred, I got to tell you, one of my best memories of the last couple years of the Mud Hole right there is I became famous by knowing Brooke Cosner's dad. After the famous bike jump, you know, when he's on the cell phone, guy crashes off of that jump. The bike slides right under Brooke's dad, and he jumps it and never puts the phone down. And
yeah,
I'm like, I know that guy.
And the funny part about that is he was on USA Today, and he was on the major news channels just by doing that. And
sure.
He's a big YouTube favorite, and it was cool and exciting, no doubt about it. He had some good reflexes. But, you know, that mud hole down there is where all the action is. You can see people are just lined up down there waiting for him to get there and see what's going to happen.
I want those people to realize, too, Fred, that each time they've been referred to as mud fleas, that is a great honor. The original mud fleas, as you know, not just Blackwater fans. Oh, mud fleas were Blackwater fans. No. Specifically, Highway 93 river crossing fans, okay? Those who dammed up the river, those who made the mud muddier, those who made the water deeper, those were the mud fleas. And anytime they're getting referred to as a mud flea down here at the Mud Hole, that's done with respect and high honor, wouldn't you say, Fred?
Oh, for sure. You know, and most of these people already probably know that because they don't mind being called that because they want to get in there, and like I said, they like helping people out and getting in the mud. And you know, everybody likes to see you jump the mud and stuff, but it's the guys that kind of second guess it and look for help. You know, they're always going to point them a good line, but as you know, that line gets deeper and deeper as it goes on, and if they point you that way and you get stuck, they jump right in there. They're pulling and shoving and getting you out, and you're yelling and screaming. It's, you know, you're almost, the fans almost racing with you.
Spectator participation, man. You know, you mentioned the Fowler Fanatics, the Mafia McGill out there. It's not just those two guys. Let me tell you something. These fans will jump in there for the unknown rider. These fans will jump in there for anybody who's hung up, stuck, needs a little help, man. That's their enthusiasm level. That's their participation level, and that's what they love to do. That's why they're here, Fred.
Sure is. You know what? Let's go to a track description with Barry Hawk here and let him tell us really what's out there about Dead Deer Hollow and Gus's Mud Hole and all that.
Hello everyone, we've got a 12-mile track laid out today. When the guys take off the start, they're actually going to be starting at the 2-mile marker, so the first lap's going to be shorter than the rest of the laps all day. When they go in the woods, the first real obstacle they're going to come to is about the 3.5 mile marker. They're going to drop down a really steep, long downhill, and then they're going to get into a creek, a rocky creek section, run up that creek section. Then at the end of that creek, they're going to have to make a left at the uphill. There's a FMF power point. There's about 3 or 4 good lines up that hill. If they pick the wrong line, they could get in a little bit of trouble there. So it's going to be a very important part of the race. Once they get to the top of that, they're going to run out to the past the 4-mile marker into the 5. About the 5.5, they're going to come down the hill and get into the big grass track section. That's where we have some enduro cross rocks. The guys have the option to go through the rocks or they can go around it. If they go through it, they're probably going to gain about 15 seconds going through it, if they other than going around it. If they do choose to go through it, it's going to be kind of risky because there's a lot of jagged rocks in there. From there, past the 6-mile marker, about the 6.5, all the way to about the 8.5 mile marker. Try to make slow the track down in there, make it really tight and technical. So I think some of the guys are going to love it, and some of them might hate it. I think the old school guys might like that. From there, past the 3rd checkpoint, about the 9-mile marker, they're going to drop down the hill and get to the Gus's Mud Hole. Gus's mud hole is, we run that every year here, and it gets pretty nasty down in there. There's a couple good lines. The far left or the far right are the best lines. If they choose to go through the middle or kind of the middle to the left, it's going to get pretty deep in there. So hopefully the guys are paying attention when they get there. From there out past the 10-mile marker, got another hill climb about the 10.5. There's a bunch of lines up that. Again, I think a few years ago here, Chris Borich made a last-second pass on Adam McGill on that hill. So going to be line show is going to be really important there. From there, they're going to go past the 11-mile marker. About the 11.5, they're going to come down to the famous Powerline mud hole. When they get to that mud hole, they can choose to go straight over it, straight through it. They better be carrying a lot of speed to get through it. If they don't, if they choose to go around, it's probably going to be about 15 seconds slower to go around that. So I think the pro guys shouldn't have any trouble in there, but the amateur guys, maybe some of the back markers, they may have some trouble in there, which would maybe cause the late in the race, may cause the pro riders to think their line choice in there. From there, past the 12-mile marker and into the finish. So other than that, we've raced here quite a few years, and hopefully everybody enjoys it. It's a little bit chilly out here today, but should be a fun track for everyone.
Wow, that's a good description there of all the gnarly stuff out there. And it's interesting to say that, you know, we've got some optional lines out there. You know, there's some uphills and there's some ways around, and if people get stuck, and that's a cool thing. And yep, there goes our leaders right now over the mud hole, and it seems like they're having no problem jumping over that.
No, and as you can tell, the biggest crowd on the property gathered around down there right now, Fred. This morning, our 4x4 Pro guys and Hunter Hart top overall running about 27-minute lap times, Fred. And we mentioned this is a 12.5-mile course here today, but a lot of times with the fast sections we have along the campground and some of these field sections, you're going to run as fast as a 10 or 11-mile track a lot of times.
Yeah, this, you know, on the open spots like that, we tend to carry a little bit more speed too. Then we're going to start catching up with some lappers, so that's going to actually slow us down a little bit. In these mud holes, you know, the first lap around like this, everybody's going to be jumping it. Now we can start to get some of the back markers, and they're going to start riding through it, and they're going to start pulling that water up, and they're still going to start getting stuck. So this first lap's really the gravy lap for everybody. From here on out, it's going to get tougher and tougher.
Fred, when they start rolling it, when you get into some of the classes farther back and they start rolling that thing, they're going to drag that mud hole about 40 yards downfield. And I can tell you what's going to happen. Somebody's going to get stuck. Somebody's going to start the bottleneck, and it's only going to get worse from there.
Yeah, and as you can see, too, there's other lines. If you look all the way at the top of the screen, back to the left, there's going to be lines going around the mud hole, which is legal in GNCC racing. You know, the mud holes get wide, but once you get around it, you got to get back onto the track and rejoin it. So, you know, there's definitely optional lines here, but as of right now, these front guys aren't using them because, you know, like I said, they're jumping it pretty easy. But let's wait for another 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 rows, and then it's really going to be crazy.
Oh, it'll be a mess. You mentioned the optional lines, Fred. One of the reasons I always loved racing here, I always loved riding here at Powerline, there were so many optional lines. And it's not that the track is much wider, it's just that the type of forest and the type of terrain you're running through just allow different different lines to develop. Now you can see one rider not wanting to jump. Definitely, as you can see, that took about 8 to 10 seconds longer to go out and around and do that.
Yeah, you're right. You know, it's longer, but it looks safer. So those guys, you know, sometimes it's better to be safer than go in there and get stuck and lose a whole bunch of time. So he's the first guy to use that, but he's definitely not going to be the only guy out there today.
And he didn't get landed on, and he's on his way down, and he didn't have the confidence. So the smart thing for him to do is to check up and go around. A lot of these guys are overconfident in some sections, not necessarily this mud hole, and that leads to bad decisions sometimes. So one rider so far checking up and taking the wide line around our mud hole.
Yep, yeah, that he did. And here's some more guys coming in. Like you said, they've built that ramp up pretty good this year compared to the last few years, but also we haven't had that much rain here in Ohio lately. As you can see from the track, it's pretty dry, and over the last few years, it's really been a lot more moisture, a lot wetter in the ground than what it is right now, and the water's really not backed up because usually that thing's there's a lot more water laying there. And here comes our leaders right now. It's Walker Fowler in the lead with Adam McGill right on his heel, staying close as he can, not letting Walker Fowler get too much of a lead here on his home turf in Ohio.
And Fred, with that being said, I'm going to surrender my seat to the godfather of GNCC announcing right now, man, Rodney Tomlin, RT. You know, some people say the voice, I say the mouth of GNCC, because he's so much more informative than just a voice. No doubt about it. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll come back and catch up with you guys in just a little bit.
Well, thanks a lot, Megawatt. That introduction, way overrated there, but I'll tell you what, the racing that we're talking about is certainly not overrated one bit, as Walker Fowler has done it. He has moved into the #1 position here, Fred Andrews, and this right here could be the turning point of this race. But again, we got to look at the fact that Adam McGill is behind him. They start out this time, and honestly, I got to say that quite possibly that McGill's strategy may be a little different this race than what we saw him racing last time. I think last time he was just racing, trying to salvage things and try to come up with a pass at the end of the race. That didn't work out well for him. He said he got him in sights and he ended up crashing. So today he said he was just going to let that baby eat, and he was going to go out and just run the wheels off of it. And that's what he's trying to do. But at the same time, Walker Fowler running the wheels off of his, so it's making it a little more difficult for Adam to really do a whole lot with that. So we can see what's happened now. Walker has made the pass, and that was a very pivotal pass if Adam McGill's not able to make that pass back on him and challenge for this win today. It's very crucial that Adam McGill win today.
Yeah, Ronnie, and what you're saying is also true on, you know, Walker Fowler wants to put a statement or make a statement today showing that this is it. We're in Ohio, I'm going to win. Well, Adam McGill says, I got to win because I need the points. So both these guys need to win. They have to win today just to prove to the other one, you know, that this is their year, this is their game. But it's going to be a dogfight, Rodney. I mean, as you can see right now, neither one of these guys know this is it. There's no tomorrow if it's not today. If you don't make it happen today, tomorrow don't matter.
The good thing about it for Walker Fowler is if he loses this race today, it's nothing really hurt, nothing really bad. But the good thing about it for Adam McGill is that his championship hopes all of a sudden remain alive. And even though they would still be alive heading into the Ironman with only a second or third place position finish today, if something was to happen to Walker at Ironman, you can't rely on things like that. They both had their bad races today, or this year so far, and it seems like all riders seem to have at least one bad race a year, and both of them have those bad races behind them, and maybe even Adam might say he's got a couple of those bad races under his belt, and even Walker could too at this point. But the fact remains we're only a few points between the championship, and Spoiler actually is playing right behind him right now. One of the winningest, well, the winningest racer here at ITP Powerline Park GNCC, Chris Borch, who has at least 7, maybe 8 wins. I got to go back and check that, but I know he has at least 7 wins here at Powerline Park. He's running back in the #3 position. He's only about 5 seconds off pace, and you know, for Chris Borch, that's as good as being in front of you, or it used to be anyway at that point.
Yeah, you know, I think this is one of the first races that Chris has actually got to start up front in the last few. You know, usually he's been 5th or 6th or so and been back and had to work his way to the front. Well, now he's with the leaders, he's inside of the leaders, and he's also got his bike working good. So it'll be interesting to see if he stays with this train, if he hooks onto Adam McGill and Walker Fowler, and all 3 of those guys just start to make a move and he sticks with them.
Yeah, for sure. Couple of other spoilers playing back there. Brian Wolf is another Ohio rider. Brian is capable of winning this race, and to be honest with you, he started out pretty strong today, Fred, and you know, Brian's one of those guys, he's either on or he's not, and if he starts out on, normally he's on all day long unless he breaks a bike, and right now I don't see any places other than maybe the enduro cross section that he might be able to break that bike, but if it's going to happen, it'll happen there for Brian Wolf. He's back and forth right now. Jay Shadron, another rider that could play spoiler here today, and the reason I say that is because this kid has shown speed. We've seen him running in winning contention in the past, and he is capable of fitting right into a top spot and could play spoiler in this one today. So those top 5 riders you have up front right now are certainly mixing things up and making things rather interesting, at least from my perspective, and knowing what the possibilities of all this is entailing here today, heading into this, well, what they call the penultimate round, the next to the final round. And man, it's a huge race. Now watching Fred here at the 11-mile marker, I'm sure you Megawatt maybe talked about this particular section quite a bit, as we're going to be seeing a lot of this section. This is the infamous Powerline mud hole. As you can see, it has been ran, well, it's being run back the other opposite direction. I think this year is what it was last year. Was it? No, maybe it was ran this way, but a lot of times same direction last year. But oftentimes they'll switch it up and go back and forth on this particular part of the racetrack. But this year they got the same section, same direction, and to me, if they're jumping in the same places, even though that ground's had time to heal for the last year, Fred, you know there's got to be some soft ruts in there from last year left still in there.
Yeah, as we saw that one guy on that quad, he kind of went to the left a little bit. He got stuck in the hole a little bit, and you saw one of the spectators, he was going to run out there and help pull him out. So this section here, Rodney, I look for it to get worse and worse as the day goes on. You know, we don't have a whole bunch of water in there like we have had in the past. You know, usually water's way higher and it's a lot softer, but as you said, the ground can only heal so far, and with the more people going over it and the water getting pulled up, this spot's going to get deeper and deeper.
Well, as we continue to watch this section of the track, Walker Fowler continues to lead. It is Adam McGill in second, Chris Borge third, Brian Wolf fourth, and Jay Shadron in the number 5 spot. In 6th place, Kevin Yoho, who's another Ohio rider. He's running in the number 6 spot. We got 7th place, Ohio's Bryson Neal. A lot of Ohio pro riders out here today, and each one of them want to do well. We got Jared McClure out of Casca, Pennsylvania, the Cobra, if you will, back and forth. Even though he's back there in 8th place on that number 4 machine, Fred, I say keep an eye on him. Remember, we've talked about the sneaky snakiness that he's got. He rides with a lot of aggression and a lot of confidence now, and to see that he's only back in 8th place, we know that things could certainly change. Right now, we're looking at Landon Wolf rounding out the top 10 of this ITP Powerline Park GNCC.
Got its name, but I think it's probably self-explanatory.
Out near the 6.2 mile marker now, Fred. As you can see, the arrow there on the tree, noting exactly where that is on the race course.
And you know what, Rodney? I think we've got a mud hole feature for everybody out here to explain kind of what we've been talking about. We talked about this mud hole and Dead Deer Hollow and all that. I think Jeff Russell and Barry Hawk had a little bit of 101 on our mud holes here.
How Dead Deer got its name, I was not here in the beginning. I was racing back when I believe it got its name, but I think it's probably self-explanatory. I think there was a dead deer, and I think the track went right beside it, and it smelled quite bad. That's how I come up with its name, but as when I used to race it, I remember dropping down into that creek, and then you got the downhill coming into it, and the uphills coming out of it, and it's rocky. It's a pretty technical section, and I'd love to put the 10 o'clock guys down in there, but I think it would get a little bit ugly for those guys. But it's always a 1 o'clock section, and I know back when I used to race, I really enjoyed it because it was quite technical.
Gosh, how many years we've been coming to St. Clairsville, but Gus's Mud Hole is, it's been ran every year we've been here. It's actually a county road that goes down through there, and it's a good hard base, but some years has deeper water than others. But when we first came here, Gus's was a guy that helped us show us all around, and he fell over in the mud hole, or fell off his bike down there, and that's kind of how it got its name, Gus's Mud Hole, and from that point on, it's just been known as Gus's Mud Hole.
As for the Powerline Mud Hole, that's one of those spots where I think years ago when we first started going through it, it was really nasty, and you kind of had to wheelie through it and just plow your way through it, and it's became quite the spectacle over the years. There's probably couple thousand people that end up down there, and it's really good spectating. Actually, the pro riders, they kind of zoom through it so quick. They really they make it look so easy. But then when you get some of the less experienced guys, when they get in there, there's been a few guys go over the bars. Myself, I've never went over the bars there, but I didn't quite make it through all the way and was on my side, and gloves all muddy, ruin your goggles, and it makes a long day if you go down there. But it's one of those spots where if you make it straight through the middle, it's definitely faster. But there's the alternate line that goes around. It's bad also, but it's definitely a lot safer.
Well, Fred, I know that you've won this race twice, by the way, on the motorcycle side of things. I got to ask you, did we run the Powerline Mud Hole back then? And if so, was it nearly as bad as what it is now?
Yes, sir. Rodney, we ran it every year I was here. And actually, we used to, last time I went here, we came out of the woods. We weren't able to jump it. As you can see that guy there on the quad, Rodney, he just tried to barrel through that spot and just got stuck. So the carnage is starting to happen here. I mean, it's
Starting to
only
pile
going to
up.
get worse and worse. But no, it was definitely the same way like this, Rodney. It was, you got to this spot, you actually looked for your crew member, you looked for a spectator who you could trust, and you went for it, because this mud hole has been here forever, and it's not getting any better, Rodney. It's only getting worse.
That's for sure, and it's gained in notoriety by leaps and bounds over the course of the last 5 years, 6 years or so. It is really, wow. And I oh, mercy. And I believe it has changed the face of several races. We heard Barry Hawk talking about it there a few moments ago, how he got stuck there and ended up on his side. We see guys like this, I'm sure.
Yeah, but look at them, Rodney.
Yeah.
They're fighting each other to help this guy. They're pushing each out of the way.
The classic mud flea exhibition going on right here, my friends. That's what you call a mud flea. You know, you wonder what they are. Well, they come out just like that. That's just the way the fleas do it too. They just kind of jump on. It's kind of like they're ready to suck some blood off that quad, man. Get that guy through that mud. I think it's cool how they produce those human chains and pull each other to pull the ATVs out of those stuck places also.
Sure is, Ron. Then they go back over to the little group there. They're all high-fiving. Woo, we got that guy out of there. We helped him. You know, that's a cool thing about what we do. No other sport can you get in there and help.
Right.
You know,
I think that is a very unique aspect of this sport, and you know, and I think that the GNCC racing fan is a unique racing fan also.
And then you can see, Rodney, this guy here, he was going to come right off that jump, and they're like, no, 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 don't do it. You'll never make it. So, you know, they're out there to help you too, to try to keep you safe. And now he's spun around, and no idea where he's going to go. Maybe he's going to go over there to the left, but better safe than sorry.
Right now out front, Walker Fowler, Adam McGill, Chris Borch, 1, 2, and 3. They're all within about 6 seconds from first to third right now. XC2 minus the Coltrane, by the way. James Green leading that. Randy Hamilton second. Marty Christopherson third. Danny Rogers back in fourth. And rounding out the top 5 is Rylan Johnson. And just a quick update on the overall top amateur. It is college 16 to 24-year-old rider Wesley Wolf right now, the 741, in 14th place. And folks, don't forget about your AMSOIL Twitter contest as well. Tweet your podium prediction finishes and hashtag them GNCC Live for a chance to win $250 in AMSOIL products. Do you think it's going to be Walker Fowler, Adam McGill, Chris Borch? Do you think it's going to be different? Do you think it's going to be 3 totally different individuals? Well, hashtag it GNCC Live. Don't have to be right, but you got to hashtag it GNCC Live for a chance to win that $250 in AMSOIL products. And I don't even want to go out. I know Johnny Gallagher and I always on Sunday tend to make our predictions ourselves, Fred. I'm going to go out. I'm going to let you make your prediction first so I don't mess yours up. But what are you thinking as far as predictions go today?
I'm going with Walker Fowler for sure. You know, it's Ohio. I know how I felt when I was here, and I know Walker's a racer, and he's got that same kind of drive in him. I think it's going to be Walker Fowler, Chris Borch, then Adam McGill.
Wow. I like that thinking. You know, I can see how that could play into being, especially knowing the situation coming into this one. I know Adam is ready to just throw it all out there, and it's win or go home type attitude that I think he may have heading into this one. Here's Walker Fowler out near the 6-mile marker now, and there is Adam McGill, not only just a few seconds behind him right now, so he's got him well within sight. These guys are battling in those wood sections, but I don't see Chris Borch at the moment, so they may have stretched things out just a little bit over ahead of him. As we continue to watch behind the 521, still no sign of your champion, Chris Borch. And look at that, Walker Fowler out front, McGill in second, and still waiting on third. My predictions. I'm going to have to go with a Walker Fowler win here also. But
I mean, you know, if I was in West Virginia, I would go for Adam McGill. You know, just your home state just seems like it brings more out of you.
And I will tell you, there's only one small percentage there that leans me against Walker Fowler winning this one. As there is that third place finally coming through now?
No, I think they already went through a little bit earlier.
But in talking with Walker Fowler in pre-race interviews on the BP Fuels Pro Row during the ITB pre-race report, the ITV tires there, Walker was probably more nervous than I'd ever seen him, to be honest with you. And I talked to him about it, and a lot of it makes sense. You know, a year ago, coming into this race, Walker was, you know, he had nothing to lose and everything to gain. Right now, Walker sits in the points position lead, and he has a lot to lose if something happens today. So that little factor is weighing a little bit heavy in his mind. That was leading into the race a little bit, but the way he's riding right now, I don't think it's translating into nerves on the racetrack right now. I think he's just gone right back to work and doing what he needs to do. So,
yeah, Rodney, too, not to interrupt you, but sometimes, you know, before the race starts, you get all nerved up like that. I know I would when championship stuff starts going on, but as soon as the flag goes and it's just you and your machine out there, you're not worried about anything else like that. You're not thinking about this or that. You're worried about what's going on. You're focused on the track, and he's out there doing what he loves to do, racing his bike, and he's going fast. He's used to going fast. He doesn't want to, you know, try to slow down to conserve himself or worry about things. Right now, he's just racing the race because that's what got him to this point. You know, I don't think he's just gonna. If you slow down and change your game, that's when you have trouble. So he's just gonna do what he's been doing. Sure, before the race he was nervous, but that's part of the reason we do this race, the sport. If you're not nervous before you go out there, you know, you really don't enjoy it as much what you think you do.
Right, and I have to agree with that. So I think that Walker's using that nervousness as his edge today, and it seems to be paying huge dividends, at least at the moment. And back to the Adam McGill story, you know, it's a checkers or wreckers situation for him, and I think that's the mentality he's coming in with. So if he doesn't win, and if he doesn't win, you know, I think, you know, he's going to give everything he can to try and make it happen. And he kind of, I think, alluded to that sort of in the interview when we caught up with him earlier.
Yeah, the last race didn't really go as planned. I mean, we ended up second, had a good start. Played catch up all day. It was really hard to figure out how hard to push or how much to conserve it with the rocks and the weather that we had. I got within a couple seconds of him. I could see him. I ended up clipping a tree, wrecked on the last lap. Pretty amateur move, but, you know, us pros, we do make some mistakes every now and then. But I think the points gap's 14, right around in there. So if we can come out of this race with a win, it'll close up 5 more points and then go to Ironman. Like he said, it's pretty tough when we're so consistent 1-2. I mean, the only thing that really separates us right now is, you know, one DNF, or not a DNF, but one engine failure with me, and then, you know, a failure with him at the one race with the chain. So if it wouldn't have been for them, we'd have probably been right on top of each other all year. But, you know, racing's racing, stuff happens like that. And so we're just going to take this round here at Powerline the best we can, and hopefully come out here with a whole shot and just put that throttle clear the stops and let this sumbitch eat.
There you go. See, I told you. Letting her eat, man. That's exactly it. And that's what he's going to do, man. I mean, that's the checkers or wreckers attitude that I think he's got. So back to my podium predictions, Fred. I'm going to say Chris Borge for second. And even though Jared McClure is all the way back in 8th place right now, I am going to say that he's going to round out the podium today. So I'm going to go with Walker Fowler, Chris Borge, and Jared McClure. Talk about a upset if that happens.
Well, the way that the Cobra's been racing, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. He's really come through all year long, and he seems to be on fire right now.
Yeah, I agree. And even with the bad start, you know, I wouldn't even call it necessarily a bad start. The start that he wasn't looking for, let's call it that. Adding up the seconds right now, he's less than 25 seconds behind the leaders, so that's not a whole lot to worry about, especially when we get later in the race and things start to really go chaotic out there. That's going to be the time that Jared McClure is going to be able to strike fast, strike hard, and make those solid moves that he's going to be needing to make. But we'll see. Time will tell. Another rider that we probably ought to be factoring into this is Brian Wolf. Even though Brian hasn't finished a full 2-hour race real strong so far this year, this might be the one that he comes back and redeems himself on, too.
Yeah, you know, another Ohio boy. He's got his family and got his fans here, and this could be the race that puts him back on the map. You know, he struggled a little bit this year, but this could be what he needs to carry through to the next round and get him back here next year and get him racing again.
Leaders due in about 6 minutes, 45 minutes on the race clock right now into a near 2-hour race. We're working on lap number 2. Watching on RacerTV.com out near the 11-mile marker, which is the infamous Powerline mud hole, and we'll be seeing some more of that action coming through there with the leaders soon, probably within the next 3 minutes or so, I would think, 3 to 5. Actually, no, think about this. This lap is actually about 2 miles longer, so we're going to be a little longer on this lap than what we were the first lap. The start actually starts about the 2 mile marker, so that's going to give us a little extra time. And you know, while watching the mud hole and things down here, might give us a little extra time maybe to get to know some of these guys and what the mud fleas are all about. We had a chance to catch up with some earlier today.
I help mud flea because these bikes and foolers get stuck. Someone's got to get them out, keep this race going. That's pretty much all there is to it. Mud fleas, baby.
Look at that. There's the human chains you were talking about. The mud fleas, they come in from everywhere. They were a little scarcer in the early part of this morning's race, but Fred, they certainly come out. Oh!
They better get him out before he drowns in the water. As you can see, Rodney, wow, how much grass and stuff was here. That was from the morning class. So these guys have tore it up now. It's even going to get more tore up for even tomorrow. So this thing is only going to get worse and worse as the day goes on. But like you said, these mud fleas, they come out, they help, they don't care. They just want to get you racing and get you going.
That's right. Now you look and see how few muddy people we have. Look at that. That's creative right there. But see how clean those guys are right now. Well, when we see them in the next shot, you're going to see a lot more muddy people. But look at the people that are down there. We're only just seeing a small sector of the folks that are down there lining up that mud hole right now. Literally, at least, I would say a good 2,000 or more people down there. It's almost reminiscent of Ironman Hill at the Ironman GNCC coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Rodney, in the pit area, people are walking around going, where's that mud hole at? Where's that mud hole? So the word of this mud hole's out everywhere, and a lot of people haven't been here, and when they do show up, that's where they want to go. And as you can see, there's a bunch of room down there, but it's elbow to elbow, and everybody's just waiting for this action to happen. But another thing I wanted to get to, this track is a long one, Rodney, and as a racer, that's what we like. We don't like the short tracks and do a lot of laps, which is bad for spectators. We like these long ones because the track doesn't get so boring and it doesn't get so beat up and rough.
Right.
So, I always favor the longer laps. You know, the spectators might not see us as much, but as a racer, that's the way it was more
right.
fun.
You know, and that's a double-edged sword that we face here in the GNCC. You know, we want the best racetracks possible for the racers, but we also want the best spectacle opportunities for the fans. So you got to find that happy medium. So right there in that, well, today about the 12-mile range as far as race course length is concerned. So that's.
But at this track too, Rodney, we're fortunate that there are so many riders that come to these Ohio races. So it's not like the spectators have to wait very long for another bike to come. So there's bikes coming all the time, but it's just like this guy here. He just came out of the bush.
Yeah. Where's the track go? He went all the way around the mud hole. He's like, no, thank you. And that's the great thing about GNCC. There are those option lines. Yep. So if you're sitting at home thinking, I'd love to race one of these, but I ain't going through that. You can't make me go through that.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
That's the thing. You know, they always make a way to go around. It's going to be longer, but if you're going around like that, you're here to enjoy yourself anyways. Yeah. You come here, you enjoy yourself on your quad. It's not a race to you. It's just to go out and enjoy it and say you did a GNCC.
Yep. Hey, I got this just in, Fred. Crazy Alco deals for folks here at the racetrack. Free $20 t-shirt with a $25 purchase while they last. You can also register to win a Yamaha pressure washer at our good friends there, Alco Cleaners on Bender's Row. The Extreme Green, Extreme Clean cleaning agents. So stop by and see the good folks up there and enter to win. But right here at the Powerline Park GNCC, working on 50 minutes now into this race. Again, we're here at the Powerline Mud Hole, the FMF Powerport, as what it's been called in years past. But you were saying there a few moments ago, folks were looking for that mud hole early this morning. Yeah, at 8:30, right after the start of the youth race, I was already fielding questions and pointing folks into the direction they needed to go in order to make it to the Powerline mud hole. And as many people as there are here today, a lot of the guys that are out on the racetrack today are going to be out there tomorrow watching the motorcycle guys. So that mud hole is only going to be even more full of race fans, I think, tomorrow whenever things get underway.
Oh, for sure, Rodney. As you can see, here comes Walker Fowler down towards the mud hole right now, and he's just going to hit that jump, Rodney, and make it look easy, but it's really not that easy.
Oh, man, he does make it look easy. There's 5 seconds now. Oh,
yeah, it
we're
looks
up
like
to
he's
10.
starting to
There's
stretch a little bit.
10 and 13 seconds. 13 seconds behind Walker Fowler now is Adam McGill as we check him at the 11-mile marker. They'll be coming into the finish line near the 12-mile marker, coming up here in just a moment as we wait now for our third-place rider, and that was, but I don't think it is anymore, Chris Borch, or is that? That is a Yamaha.
Yeah, I believe that's still Chris Borch, but
yep.
The leaders have definitely
40
stretched
seconds.
out over him, Rodney.
40 seconds is what he is, actually 39. But regardless, he's lost sight of first and second place. And right now, Adam McGill is about to lose the battle of sight, as well as Walker Fowler starting to stretch it out just a little bit.
Yes, he is, Rodney. You know, now we're coming to the pit area. We're an hour into it. Are any of these guys going to gas, or are they going to, go for the next lap? So it's going to be interesting to see this little pit strategy that we have coming up. It looks like they all have their goggles on. It's not like the last race where everybody had real muddy goggles and had their goggles off and needed them. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can push it for another lap or if they need to stop, because no matter what, they got to stop once, but we'll see what kind of strategy they have. And see if, I'm surprised that Chris Borch let those guys really get that far ahead of him. So that goes to show you how fast those lead two guys are really going, because I actually thought Chris Borch, as he started with them and seen them, he was going to hang with them, but those guys are on a mission.
Yep. I think you're absolutely right. And as much as anything, Chris might be thinking, I don't want to get up in there and push either one of them in any direction. Just let these guys sort it out for themselves. And
I
that
don't
would
think
be
that.
I don't know.
I think Chris Borch wants to win, and he don't care about points. He don't care about, he's not going to bump into those guys, but he wants to win and prove that he belongs back up there.
Oh, no. Chris is a nice guy, man. He's thinking, let those guys race. I think you're more right than I am. I was trying to build a pretty picture of Chris Borch. You just blew it all out of the water. No, but Chris, I mean, if I think they were against each other and it was down to the fact of, him winning, he's going to go for the win. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, I don't think he wants to mix anything up between those two. He wants to let them finish it out themselves. But you're right. If he can win this, he's going to put himself in a position to do so as quickly as he possibly can. Checking in with some of the other riders. Brian Wolf, I believe, checking in there on the 3-4-1. Be looking for Jay Shadron, the number 9 as well. I think this might be Shadron coming by now. And that is our top 5 that have checked in here at the 11-mile marker. And regardless of who that was, Kevin Yoho, Bryson Neal, Jared McClure, they were running 6, 7, and 8. And we got a
Walker Fowler on his way to us, Rodney, right now.
Yep. I want to keep an eye on McClure's advancements. He turned to 26:17 last time around. 25:44 for Walker Fowler on lap 1. But again, we got to remember, folks, lap 2 is about 2 miles longer than lap 1. So we are going to see definite longer lap times this time around. Don't know that they will be much as far as reflecting.
2 lap board is out, Rodney. 2 laps left.
Yep. So pitting strategies, like you said, could be a big thing coming up here soon. As I have to admit, as much as he said he was going to let that thing eat, it looks like it might be full, because he didn't seem too aggressive coming through that section of the racetrack. I didn't think there at the finish line.
No, as you can see, Walker Fowler comes in. They got to pit once. He's coming in. He's got fuel, he's got goggles, he's got a drink, he's gone,
now,
he's on his way.
Look at the amount of fuel they're taking in there. That's not an awful lot of fuel they're taking, is it? They're not burning up. Oh, I don't know, man. That was a little bit more fuel out of that jug than what we saw out of Walker Fowler's. But thinking about the capacity of those tanks and knowing what those quick fills are filled up with, really, they didn't use a whole lot of fuel, as the 2-lap board is out now for Chris Borch making his way through the finish line. And the official gap, 13.2 seconds for Walker Fowler and Adam McGill, and 33.5 seconds back to third place, Chris Borch.
And here comes Chris Sports into the pit, Rodney, and as you can see, they're just gonna give him a shot of gas, give him some goggles, and give him a little bit of encouragement. And yeah, he didn't use a whole bunch, Rodney. Usually on the motorcycle side, you know, if our tanks are 3 gallons, we put like 3.5 gallons in it and mark it and see how much goes in. And we think, whether it's right or not, that extra half a gallon helps push it down in there quicker or something. I don't know, but to me, it didn't look like they used a whole bunch of gas out there either.
So, not necessarily surprising, but a little bit at the same time as we're watching. Is that McClure all the way up to the number 4 spot now? I believe it is. McClure coming in on this one, my friends. He was running 8th place last time, and there's the Cobra, strikes hard up to 4th place. Lap time, 29:35. He's about a minute slower than Walker Fowler and the boys, but what he did, no, wait, 26:09, I'm sorry. No, it was 29:35. I'm looking at the wrong thing. It was almost a minute slower than Walker Fowler, but man, how much time did he make up? 4 positions and several seconds in the process, it looks like.
Yeah, Rodney, and too, his lap time, he had to go through those guys, so that's why his lap time isn't quite as fast. Even though he's going faster, he had those other guys kind of slow him up that he had to try to pass.
So I guess this is now the time that we tell whether or not my predictions are going to come true, at least from the Jarrett McClure end of things. As of right now, it is still Walker Fowler out front, 13 seconds ahead of Adam McGill, another 35 seconds back to Chris Borich, and then another 55 seconds back to Jarrett McClure. So timing-wise, that's not the most impressive time and gaps and things of that nature, but it is certainly something to be proud of. And checking in the number 5 spot was Brian Wolf. 6 was Jay Shadron, Bryson Neal 7th, Kevin Yoho 8th, Chris Bithell 9th, and the Cole Train, Cole Richardson, rounds out your top 10. GNCC Live continues after this.
General RV is going to help you go camping with locations across the nation and thousands of RVs to choose from. General RV is the nation's largest family-owned RV dealer. At General RV, you'll save thousands on everything from trailers that sleep the whole family right up to motorhomes that are amazing and so economical to travel in. General RV is the only dealer who can show you this much and save you this much. With a great deal from General RV, you'll discover how much fun camping can be.
I'm a sore loser.
I'm a sore loser. Losing is not an option for me.
Be the best.
The best? The best.
You have to have the best equipment under the hood.
That's why I
only use
Cometic products in my engines.
Cometic gasket.
Cometic gasket.
Cometic gasket.
Cometic gasket, a superior quality gasket
for those of us who demand the highest level of performance.
Welcome back to GNCC Live as we are south.
That's definitely not downtown St. Clairsville.
No, that's not downtown St. Clairsville, but that is one of the big cities here in Ohio, located just to the north of where we are. Of course, we're talking about none other than Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland rocks, my friends, and it does. And being down here in the very edges of the shadows of Cleveland, it is certainly a great state. There's no doubt about it. You know, that's some of the huge diversity of the state of Ohio. You've got Cleveland all the way up in the northeast. You got Columbus right smack dab in the middle. And then down in the southwest, you've got Cincinnati. 3 major cities in the United States right here in the state of Ohio.
We sure do, Rod. And then we got this. We got St. Clairsville with the nice woods and the mud and the spectators. And we've got a beautiful facility here to race. And I saw some crazy things this morning, Rodney, when a deer came shooting out of the woods from the bike coming in, and it ran across the track into this patch of woods, and the bikes went in there, and it came running out the other side. So we've got plenty of wildlife, wild action everywhere you look.
I've seen that too. Actually seen one going up on the other side of the power line. It was beating feet across the Greg's backyard back there. Pretty crazy. And there's some crazy stuff going on down there. We're getting some mud flea. Look at that, picking that bike up, trying to set it up out. I'm surprised there aren't like 50 people down there. Here they come. Wait, that's how the main line's what it is. They're over on the side, so these guys are
kind of on their own, but there's always somebody there to help you. But you get stuck out here in the middle, Rodney. This is where This is where all the main mud fleas are.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, unfortunately for the viewer at home that is looking for the wild things that take place we saw the highlights from the morning race. The 10 o'clock races where you see it. These afternoon guys, A's and B's, normally you don't see many of them going up to that jump and slamming on the brakes and then nose diving into. Not saying it's not going to happen, but generally you don't see that happening. Hey, Fred, a couple of interesting things to point out here on lap number 1 there just a moment ago, and here on lap number 2 now, is Wesley Wolf still leading the college A class. He's dropped a couple of spots, though, in the overall to 16th place overall. But what I do want to point out is 2 things here. The top 15 riders are all XC1 Pro class riders. There are not any XC2 Pro-Am riders in there. Generally, when Cole Richardson was racing, you would see him and maybe 1 or 2 others that were trying to chase him down in the top 10 easily oftentimes. But today, through the top 15, it's all XC1. The 16th place rider is a college A class rider. And then you've got first place on time adjustment. Randy Hamilton is running 17th place overall. So that's some interesting notes, I think, here at ITP, to be honest with you.
Do you think, Rodney, that it's that they know Cole's not in there, so they're not pushing it that hard? They're just trying to race each other? I mean, because it's different that the college A guy is ahead of them on adjusted time. It doesn't seem – something's weird because I would think even though Cole's out, those guys would still be up there unless this track is to the liking of most of the XC1 guys or it's a little bit faster than usual so these guys can keep the speed and it's harder for them to catch up on adjusted time.
Right, yeah. There's a lot of variables. That'd be interesting to delve into that a little deeper and find out more. But interesting to me is the fact that, College A, Wesley Wolf. But at the same time, Wesley is running for a championship in the College A class. That's the main objective out there. And second objective is to score a top 20 overall number for 2015 or 2016. I think he's well on his way to achieving that. He's close. If he's not top 20 right now overall, he should be because he's landed a lot of rides in the overall top 20. And if he keeps this up, he probably will be before the end of the year. But regardless, initially it was to win the College A class, and now it's starting to look like not only do we want to win that championship, but we want to be top amateur. And I tell you, since they made that goal, they have been top amateur every race.
Wow. You know, Rodney, goals are good. You know, he already meant his one goal to win the class, so he set another one in the same year. He's just not happy. You know, he's not happy with just being that. He wants the next. He just wants to keep on making that step up and up.
And another interesting fact about Wesley Wolf is he will be historically, according to the records that I follow and know, and I could be wrong, and I hope somebody can point it out if it is wrong, but I believe that Wesley Wolf will be the first ever ATV racer to score national championship titles in both GNCC and motocross ATV disciplines of racing. So congratulations to Wesley if he's able to cap, or I guess he has pretty much capped that off. So congratulations to Wesley on that as he's got these 2 more rounds of racing to go. And then I think we're going to be looking at him in the XC2 Pro-Am class a lot next year.
Yep, that's his next step, Rodney. You know, move up to XC2, get your feet wet, learn a little bit more because he thinks he's going fast now, but he will go faster when he joins those XC2 guys. They will teach him things that he thought he already knew. You know, they'll pull him up to the next level, and then when he gets out of there, then you get to XC1, and that's a big step too. It'll take you a year or 2 to learn, then it'll pull you up to, you know, hopefully where the leaders are or to the best potential that you can be.
Here's a funny question I posed some of the XC2 class riders today. Actually, Tom Kuntz, AJ Kuntz, who's one of our top riders there in the XC2 Pro-Am class. He was running the top 3. I think he's dropped out of it now. But anyway, I asked him, I said, dude, when are you going to be moving up to the XC1 class? He goes, I don't know, man. That's a pretty far step, and, you know, that's a long way. And I'm like, man, it's only 15 feet farther ahead. What do you mean it's so much? But, you know, I mean, in reality, you look at the grand scheme of things, Freds. It's 15 feet further ahead on the starting line, but there's so many other variables that you open up whenever you get into that first row up there. I mean, it's speed, it's endurance, it's knowing when to go fast, when not to go fast, and I mean, there's a lot of different things.
Yeah, you know, and I think Cole Richardson's actually learning that today, the Cole train. he's used to coming off an XC2 class, going fast, passing people, keeping himself motivated as he goes. Boom, 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 catching guys, passing them, get further along in the overall. Well, now he started in the front row. He's riding his heart out, and he's not passing anybody.
Right.
You know, and that's a mental game that you have to figure out in your head and think, oh, well, it's okay. We're just going faster, and learn how that works so you can be a top guy. Because right now, you know, he's 10th place in the class, and he's usually better than that starting behind him.
Yeah. I mean, oftentimes at this point, we're seeing him battling for 4th place, top 5 anyway, and sometimes even a top 3 overall in adjusted time. So you're right. That step, you know, it is pretty big. And whatever it is, Fred, I don't know what it is from one to the other to start with them and start behind them, and how you can justify being able to go faster than them riding behind them and then riding with them. I don't know, and you really don't know until you get out there and you're faced with that firsthand. So maybe Cole can enlighten us a little bit more on that coming up a little later after the racing has completed here today. And as I look at the clock, an hour and now almost 7 minutes into this one, it's about time for a Mid-State Chevy Midway Report, as we want to say thanks to our good friends down there at Mid-State Chevy, located off the Flatwoods exit of I-79, right there smack dab in the heart of West Virginia. We told you top 10 overall and top 10 in the XC1 Pro class. They're all the same. Fowler, McGill, Borich, McClure, and Wolf, your top 5. Jay Shadron is 6th. Bryson Neal in 7th. Kevin Yoho is 8th. Chris Bithell in 9th. And Cole Richardson rounding out the top 10 in his pro racing debut. As we go to the XC2 Pro-Am class, Randy Hamilton leading Marty Christofferson out of New York. Marty the Beard Christofferson, probably got one of the coolest lumberjack beards I've ever seen in my life. James Green, J.D. Green, the number 22 in 3rd. Danny Rogers running in the number 4 spot. There's the 807. Michael Lancaster in 5th, and it's Cody Collier in 6th. 7th, Ryland Johnson. 8th, Cameron Booth. Kenny Schick is 9th, and Robbie Piccarori rounding out your top 10. And A.J. Kuntz has now dropped off to 14th place. Wow, he must have problems there in lap 2. College A class running 16th overall. Wesley Wolf leading this one by 1 minute and 3 seconds over Greg Covert, the 701. The 406, Devin Fehan is 3rd. Clint Graff, the 352, running in 4th. In 5th place, the 217 of Drew Landers. 6th through 10th now College A class. The 48 of Christian Meyer is 6th. 7th is 441 Brandon Eichert. 8th, the 768 Tyler Wares. 9th, the 969 Bodie Lamoureux. And rounding out the top 10, 214 Brandon Barnes. Up next, we take a look at the Junior A. Duck Lloyd coming from the way of ATV Motocross. However, Duck, after last year's injury-ridden season in ATV, GNCC, and ATV Motocross, he elected to sit motocross out this year and race the last part of GNCC's. And he's doing it quite convincingly with a 36-second lead over the 706 of Dwight Pollard out of Clayton, Georgia. 702, Steve Covert out of Ithaca, New York is 3rd. Nathan Hornacek out of Norton, Ohio, the 32 is 4th. Then the 405 of Robert Heckman out of Shippensburg, PA is 5th. Todd Berger, the 415, in 6th. Dustin Piggott, the 362, is 7th. In 8th spot, the 37, Matthew King. 9th place, Simon Bissell. And rounding out the top 10, number 532, Dustin Burkhammer. Vet A class, Matt Hanna. Here's a class that we recognize a lot of former pro class names in. Matt Hanna, or XC2 names even in. Matt Hanna, the 901 out of New Concord, Ohio, a 4-second lead over former XC1 Pro rider Brandon Summers. Matt is a former XC2 top rider. Dustin Hendershot, the 806 Vet A class rider out of Washington, West Virginia. He runs 3rd. Big Papa P, formerly of the XC1 class, running in the number 4 spot. Jeff Pickens, that is, on the 17th. 5th place, Scott Owens, the 363 out of Walker, West Virginia. We've got Whetstone in 6th. Brad Wilson is 7th. Todd Demery in 8th. Eric Vallejo in 9th. Nick Carnelli rounding out your top 10 in that Vet A 28-plus class. As we go next to the senior AB 38-plus class, we got Mike Muskop leading this one, the 860 over John Glott of the 41. Okay. My daughter let me know she failed epically with hot chocolate, but she scored in chicken and noodles right here, man. That's all I got to say. Mike Muskop leading the senior AB 38 plus class. John Glotta second. Brian Foltz third. Mark Batson, the 636, is running fourth. John Shearer in fifth. Aaron Delancey sixth. Andy Cooper seventh. And Joe Gower rounding out the top 8. I said during the start that I had a little story, an interesting story about Mark Batson and his brother Dale. Those two racing out here today. Former ATV motocross stars racing for Media All-Stars, a team out of Georgia and a huge team in the ATV motocross world, making their way over to GNCC. Well, these two brothers, they started racing the Heartland Challenge a few years ago, and they couldn't come up with a team member, and they're racing the Bet 30-plus class out there. So they decided to do it just a two-man team. They went out. They've won the last 2 years in a row. Mark was telling me yesterday, or Dale was telling me yesterday, he said, dude, he said, listen, he said, until we lose, we're not even going to accept another team member at this time because nobody else wants to ride with us. But anyway, those two making the switch over from motocross, they said, glad to be able to make the switch to GNCC, and they are excelling well. And being able to do it as brothers like that, I think that's awesome as well.
Sure is, Rodney. And while you're giving the Mid-State Chevrolet Midway report, I did notice that Walker Fowler still was 16 seconds ahead of Adam McGill, you know, even though they stopped for gas. So they really haven't lost or have not gained any time on each other. So those two are still holding their own.
Great. And that's, I think, still enough gap there that that Adam McGill can make that up. And it's a good enough gap right now that Walker's got to be feeling comfortable. As we'll continue with the B-Class real quick, we'll get through these and wrap up this Mid-State Chevy Midway report. But we got Blake Meyer, Braden Schick 1 and 2 in the College B-Class. Charlie Dawson, the 330, is third place. Weston Scott in fourth aboard the 369. 416, Peyton Wallace is fifth. Sixth place, Nicholas Mastrolangelo is sixth. Seventh, Ryan Bovis. Eighth place, Dustin Atkinson. Ninth place, Tanner Walker. Rounding out the top 10 is Joseph Yerkson. That stuff is good, dude. That is some good chicken and noodles right there. That's the beer butt chicken that was cooking on the fire next to my camper, and he was pouring Pepsi in it, man. I thought that was great. Cody Wolford, the 818 out of Dry Fork, West Virginia, leading the junior B class. Chris Iana, 222, is second. Brian Felicki is third. Fourth place, James Mauger. Fifth place, Mitchell Boyce. Liam Cater is sixth. Eric Hollifield in seventh. Chase Kolb is eighth. Caleb Bailey in ninth. Jay Turner rounding out your top 10. And as we look at the Vet B class, Dale Batson, one of the winners of the Vet class, his brother, he and Mark, as I was telling you. That Media All-Star ride, 671, leading 6 seconds over Sean Stuck, the 402. The Marlboro man, Todd Muscala, the 64 out of Uniontown, PA, is third. Craig Wilson, 355, is fourth. Then we got Phil Cole, 773, rounding out the top 5. Number 61 is 6, Jeremy Gouchard. Daniel Webb, the 703, is 7th. John Salsa in 8th place aboard the 410. 403, James Cook is 9th. And Charlie Rogers rounding out the top 10. And that is your look at your Mid-State Chevy Midway report here after 2 laps of racing through most, if not all, the classes out there today. And I want to say thanks to Mid-State Chevrolet, where they stack them deep and sell them cheap. Be sure and check them out off the Flatwood exit. And also, you guys that are watching right now at home on RacerTV.com, I want you to open another browser page, and I want you to open up your Facebook or go on your phone and open up Facebook. Go to Mid-State Chevy's Facebook page, like them, and tell them thanks for being a part of the GNCC Racing Nation. While you're there, you can also check out your next new car, truck, or van right there, MidStateChevy.com. Stack them deep and sell them cheap, Fred Andrews.
That's for sure, Rodney. You know, we appreciate having all our great sponsors, and they're one of them that have really stepped up their game. We got that beautiful Chevy truck here with GNCC all over it, and it actually fits in here, Rodney, because this is not only an ATV park. They have like an off-road truck park, UTV thing, where guys come with big trucks, just like the one they've provided for us with the big tires and the lift kit and the winch and the bars and stuff. And they actually ride around some of the same trails we do. And that's what makes some of these mud holes so deep. You know, they take them big trucks through there and get all the big tires, tear up the holes, and make big stuff go on, and it makes it more exciting for us.
It most certainly does. You know, something else I think is exciting is the fact that we've got such great support. Not only fan support, Fred, but we've got great industry support too. And, you know, the great thing about the industry support we get is, you know, it's a tight-knit family. And, you know, we talk about the GNCC Racing Nation being focused there in Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and those areas right there. Well, did you know that 3 of GNCC's main sponsors and 3 of the industry's main sponsors are right here in the great state of Ohio? We're talking about FPS, Cometic Gaskets, and Wiseco Pistons.
Yes, I did, Rodney, and I have 2 of those as our team sponsors, and you're right, they're right from really below Cleveland is where Cometic and Wiseco, so we're kind of in that area just north of where I'm at, and they've been great sponsors of mine throughout the years, and they've been with GNCC Racing. I think Wiseco been here since day one, I believe.
They have, most certainly. Wiseco's been around with GNCC since before GNCC was even GNCC. Let's check them out and see all the great things they got going on, Fred.
Hello everybody, I'm Dave Selecki. I'm the Power Sports Product Line Manager here at Wiseco Performance Products. We're about 30 miles east of Cleveland here in Mentor, Ohio, and we're here to talk about Wiseco and tell you our story. Alright, here at Wiseco we manufacture all the pistons in-house. We start with the raw material, we actually forge the material, heat treat it, and do the final machining, and that's pistons for everything from motorcycles to ATVs to automotive applications, drag racers, you name it, we've touched it. As far as any form of racing, we supply a piston for. Made in USA, and something we call bar to box. We take the raw bar aluminum and it finishes up in a box as a piston for you to use in your engine. Remind you to come out to the racetrack and say hello at our booth, pick up some free decals and keychains, and also we do offer racer support. You go to racersupport@wiseco.com, you can send in your resume. We're accepting those now for the 2016 season, so that's a good opportunity to get some great product at a really, really good price. So thank you, everybody, for coming.
This is Jeff Gorman from Cometic Gasket, and thanks for coming. We'll do a quick plant tour today. You know, we've been around since 1989. We started out in I think a 1,500 foot facility. We're up to about a 70,000 square foot facility now, and we'd love to show you around the place. We have about 80,000 active part numbers. This industry changes so fast. We just try to keep up with everything and come out with new technology as often as possible. We do all of our own R&D in-house. We have test labs, we have engine dynos. We work closely with our material suppliers, what type of polymers we're going to use, what type of steels we're going to use. We have CNC machines, again, trying to stay flexible. We have automated machines for the higher volume stuff to make sure the price point's in line where we can make thousands of parts an hour. We have milling machines. You know, vertical integration's a big thing for us. We try to do as much in-house as possible. We make all of our own injection molds. We make all of our own forming dies, stamping dies. Quick turnaround is a big thing for us. You know, when we have an idea or we have something that we know works, we want to be quick to take it to market. You know, we're one of the only companies in the industry, gasket-wise, that really does all of our own in-house development work. We have a great staff here, a lot of people that are very knowledgeable, not only about gaskets, but internal combustion engines. We have guys that have raced their whole lives. We have enthusiasts. You know, really a great staff of people here kind of putting everything together, and that's the most important part.
Hey guys, this is Mike Sauer from Cometic Gasket. I'm the guy that you see at the GNCC. When you guys see us at the races, make sure you stop by the Cometic booth in Sprinter.
Okay, Rodney, here we go. It looks like Walker Fowler has already come through, and there goes Adam McGill over the world-famous Powerline mud jump.
Wow, man, I tell you. So that's the way it's looking now, and an hour and 20 minutes into this one. This may be the way the rest of this year is starting to look at, and we may be looking at the way this championship is going to unfold, at least for first and second today. But still, 40 minutes left to go in this race or so, Fred, or at least just a little over a lap of racing left to go in this race, and another 2 hours after that an Ironman that will truly decide the total outcome of this, Ben. But I tell you, the riding may be starting to be on the wall here today.
You know, it'd be a big upswing for Walker Fowler. You know, he come in here, he wanted to win, and he's going to win, so he's actually got that momentum going. He won last week. His momentum's going to keep on going from this one, going into the Ironman, where Adam McGill is pouring his heart out, giving it everything he's got, but he's just coming up a little bit short. And right now, you know, they got that gap, whether it's still 16 or 18 seconds. I'm not sure what it was, but it's probably somewhere in there still. You know, they're both giving it everything they got. For him to really dig down this deep this last lap, it's going to take a lot for him to catch Walker. So that could be part of the game too. If Walker does get caught by Adam McGill, you know, that could turn everything into a big tailspin. You know, Walker could think, oh my gosh, he's here, and it could all unravel. But if Walker could keep on doing what he's doing and Adam doesn't catch him, I think it's going to be a big step going into Ironman.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. And honestly, these last 40 minutes or so, we're going to see how heavy they weigh on Walker Fowler as our, is this third place coming through now?
I believe it's fourth, Rodney.
Fourth place, yeah. Fourth place coming through now. And things may be tightening up here back there for this battle, quite honestly.
How you doing?
So Fowler, McGill, Borich, McClure, and Wolf is what we're looking at as far as the overall, but the gap's certainly changing quite a bit. We had 13 seconds, as many as 18 seconds at one point between first and second, about 35 seconds back to the number 3 spot in Chris Borich. But McClure was the rider on the move, though lap times didn't necessarily reflect that last time around.
Here comes Walker Fowler out here getting ready to come take the white flag on the infield, Rodney. He'll be coming by us here in a second. You know, he takes a quick look over his shoulder, doesn't see Adam McGill anywhere, so that's a good thing for him. He's thinking he's stretching it out, and we'll get a little time on it here to see how far he is stretching him, but he might be a little bit nervous. I've never seen really Walker Fowler look over his shoulder this much, and there's Mama Fowler. She can't control herself. She's jumping up and down, going crazy like a mom does.
There's something that you don't normally see Walker Fowler do, but as he came through the finish line, he actually gave a little fist pump there, like, yeah, one more to go, and I've got this one. And he knows as well as anybody. And I think those guys right there in those pits know as well as anyone as well. But at the same time, Walker does not want to celebrate none too early. Remember last year, the premature celebrations in the pro pits, coming down to the final stretch of the Ironman GNCC. But again, I think we can tell as well. And there's Mama Fowler cheering on, believe it or not, Mr. McGill there at the competition. I'm sure she wouldn't be as apt to cheer him on if he was that very much closer, but at the same time, she knows it's been a good championship, and she knows that Adam has worked hard and wanted this one as well. As they make their way through the pro pits now, the gap between first and second place officially now, after 3 laps of racing, 36 seconds, almost 37, 36.8 seconds between first and second place. So I just got to wonder if Adam's trying to get the appetite up on that quad so it could eat more this last lap or what, because he said he was going to let her eat out there, and so far, so you know, we saw him stuffing his face full there in I think the first lap or so, but since that point, man, it's been an all Walker Fowler game, so it's time now.
I don't think you would want to give Walker Fowler that much of a lead and show him that he's starting to put more time on you, being in his home state. And Walker's, you know, as you can see, he's really comfortable out there. He's fist pumping, something he doesn't usually do, but he's real comfortable right now. So it's all Walker Fowler's day right now, Rodney.
It is, and there is Chris Borich trying to get around some of that lap traffic. Borich maneuvering his way through in the number 3 spot. A good ride, good solid ride. I like these rides, seeing him on the podium, because that means that he's right where he wants to be or needs to be as far as getting things ready to go for the 2016 upcoming season. So As Chris Borch makes his way through the pits, it is officially Walker Fowler, Adam McGill, Chris Borch, 1, 2, and 3. 36 seconds between first and second. A minute and 29 seconds back to the number 3 spot. And as Jared McClure checks in, 25 seconds back. And Bryson Neal actually 25 seconds back. And then Jared McClure a second behind him. 9/10 actually is what it says on the clock. So wow, we got a battle shaping up for the number 4 place. Bryson Neal picking it up, Jared McClure picking it up. Their lap time, 29:21, 29:33 versus a 30-minute and 2-second lap time by Chris Borch. By all indications, we should be seeing these two reel up on Chris Borch by the end of the final lap, and we could see a heated 3-way battle down to the checkers. Stick around to find out whether or not it all comes to fruition. GNCC Live continues after this.
This RacerTV live broadcast is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. By Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready. By Maxxis Tires, find your flow. And powered by Yamaha Generators.
And welcome back to the infamous ITP Powerline Park GNCC, where we are looking at that Powerline mud hole here at the 11-mile marker, an hour and 28 minutes into this race today, Fred. And it looks like, man, as sad as it is to say, that things are starting to sort themselves out here heading into this final lap of racing, where Walker Fowler stretched it out almost 37 seconds over Adam McGill, another minute and a half back to Chris Borch. The excitement lies back in 4th and 5th with Bryson Neal and Jared McClure running about 30-second faster lap time than that of Chris Borch, and they're only 25 seconds behind him. So in theory, we should see a 3-way battle coming down to the wire at the checkers if that all pans out that way. And that should be coming up in about 23, 24 minutes or so when we see that happen. So we'll just wait with bated breath to see. Something we don't have to wait on is to see how things are shaping up as far as our morning program is concerned. I know we got a couple of big things going on. One, of course, is the fact that we got a youth rider that's trying to capture the overall national championship along with a class title. We've got a 4x4 class that has 3 riders battling for the championship, and one rider actually kept it alive, and his hope's alive, and is going to take it down to the wire today. And that's pretty exciting stuff. We're talking about Ronnie Rush in the youth ATVs, and of course 4x4 pro racer Michael Swift.
Welcome here to the Powerline Park. We're here with our first winner of the day, Ronnie Rush. Ronnie, one more time out front. Looked a little slick on that start, though, man. Didn't get out front to the early lead like you're used to.
Yeah, I had a good start, and then everyone started spinning out, so we just all hit each other, and we had to just spin out.
Tell me a little bit about the mud holes out there. You know, St. Clairsville known for a couple different mud holes. Were they bad today?
Yeah, they were pretty bad. They got real slick real quick, so you just kind of had to make some new lines, and I guess it worked out.
You wrapped up the championship 2 weeks ago at Somerset, so it had to be really good, had to feel really good to come out here and win today and back up that championship.
Yeah, I'm just having fun now, just trying to see how many wins I can get, and so far it's ended up pretty good.
There you have it, Ronnie Rush doing it one more time here at the Powerline. Back to you guys in the studio. Hello, everybody, and welcome to RacerTV's coverage of the Powerline Park 2015. We're here with our Polaris Ace Race winner this morning, Sam Yokley. Sam, tell us a little bit about the course out there today, and how was it in this Ace?
It was a great course. They put a great course together, and it was all just perfect. And I got the whole shot, and the Ace done perfect.
I tell you what, looked like the equipment was working good today.
Yeah, those A-arms, RacerTech A-arms, done really good and cleared everything I needed to clear to get around the track and get the win for me.
Any trouble spots whatsoever out there?
No, I didn't have much trouble. I about flipped a couple times, but I got it back together and just rode it on in for the win.
There you have it. Just another day in the office for Sam Yoakley in our Polaris Ace race here today. Hello, everybody. We're here with our 4x4 Pro winner today, Michael Swift. Mike, man, oh, man, doing it one more time up here in the middle of the box. Looked like another day at the office for you, man. Made it look kind of easy today.
Yeah, it was a good day. You know, I didn't get a good start, but you know, halfway through the first lap, I was able to get up to second, and I was able to move into first. And once I got in the lead, man, I just kind of done my own thing the rest of the day. I didn't worry about what was behind me. I just knew I needed to keep going forward. I didn't get the 2 card when I thought I'd get it, so that made me a little nervous. But when I come back around, he gave me the white flag. So I had a good day, flawless, no problems. Got through the track smoothly. Man, I just run my own race and did what I knew I needed to do.
You know, we think of St. Clairsville, we think of cool temps, we think of mud holes, we think of roots. Did it live up to that today?
It did. You know, there's a lot of the track was dry and tacky, and then there's some that was, you know, slick, like ice skating rink. And then it had the mud, you know, a couple of mud spots. It had a little bit of everything.
Right on, Mike. Hey, who were the big parts of your program that got you up here to the win today?
Hey, I want to thank Factory Polaris Racing. They make that scrambler such a flawless machine. It is so smooth, and that's what got me in the front and kept me in front all day. That thing corners so good. The power delivery, the all-wheel drive system. Maxxis tires, Maxxis hooked up really good today. DP brakes, custom Maxxis shocks, Evans Racing coolant, Rock Speed FX, all of Team UXC's racing sponsors. Thank everybody, my family, the good Lord for keeping us safe.
Well, congratulations on a great race. There you have it, 4x4 Pro winner today here at the Powerline, Michael Swift.
How about that, Megawatt? Matt Watson with the interviews there, and 3 of them, bam, 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 just like that. 3 great races. That's hard to believe that we've already had that kind of racing take place here today. Youth racing, 4x4 Pro, the Ace racing, the Polaris Ace racing. Congratulations to Sam Yoakley, by the way, for I think that's his 2nd win so far of this championship season. Jessie Strawham was back at it again this morning as well. You remember her story, Fred, and man, I guess she must have hit a tree or something, ripped a couple wheels off her machine, had to haul her and the machine out. She was all right. The machine just, she definitely is a racer, let's put it that way. She's still got the racer's heart, there's no doubt about it.
Right now, Rodney, good thing she's got a good pit crew. They can get that thing back together and get her back out there for the Ironman race. And like you said, you know, racing starts early out here, Rodney. We start at 8 o'clock, and we're not done till 4:30, 5 o'clock. So there's action all day long. So it's, you know, these spectators don't come out here for a little bit of half-hour excitement and they're done. You know, this is an all-day adventure.
Oh, I think you hit the nail on the head, adventure. I think that's probably about the best way to call it, a spectating adventure at GNCC's. Walker Fowler, Adam McGill, Chris Borch, Bryson Neal, Jared McClure, about 16 minutes or so, a little more. Well, about 17 minutes, I guess, is when we would expect to see Walker Fowler in if he comes in on schedule to take the checker flag, and one step closer to sealing the deal on the 2015 ATV GNCC Championship.
Well, Rodney, we're going to talk about the Twitter contest one more time here. You know, everybody out there, get your tweets into hashtag GNCC Live for who you think the top 3 are going to be. Right now, you and I did our picks. We're not right, but we still could win if we play, so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Everybody in it, doesn't matter who you are or what names you put down, you have to play to win.
Yep, you do. And hashtag GNCC Live, $250 worth of AMSOIL products could be yours, my friend. And, man, I mean, I went out on a limb with mine, but I'm really liking the chances of at least McClure getting up there and making it exciting, even though and I definitely wasn't wishing anything ill will on Adam McGill. I think he's going to be able to hold on to it now. Things did not develop quite the way that I expected them to by no stretch of the imagination, but we are seeing some coolness develop there with Bryson Neal, Jared McClure chasing down Chris Borch.
You know, Rodney, those two get together, they're even going to go a little faster than what they did probably the last lap. And once they start to see Chris Borch, if Bryson Neal's leading and McClure's behind him, once he starts to see Borch, he's going to forget about McClure being behind him. He's going to start hunting Borch down. So this could really be exciting.
And that may be what he's looking at right now, because you look at the lap time, Bryson Neal's last lap time was 29 minutes, 21 seconds. It was 12 seconds faster than even Jared McClure. If you remember, McClure was fourth, but then he chased, Bryson Neal chased him down, got around him, only a second ahead of him, but still, like you said, if he's out there and he's got his head down and charging, he may not even be looking behind him. And at that pace and that level he's riding at right now, wow.
Oh, yeah. As a racer, Rodney, you're not worried about who's behind you. You've got to be worried about what's ahead of you, and that's exactly what, Bryson Neal's doing. He's caught McClure. He's passed him, and, well, his next lights are on board. And if his lap times stay like they are, as you figure, with your calculations, he should be right there. And we could see some excitement coming in here to the finish line. We've got these big, nice sweeping turns and off-cambers coming to the finish, so anything could happen.
Yes, I think this is probably one of the that's one thing that I've always liked about St. Clairsville is the finish lines. The chicanes coming up to the finish line always produce great spectacles. Remember, I believe it was maybe 04 that Shane Watts and Barry Hawk battled it out there, and it wasn't until that last grass track field section that we saw Shane Watts make the pass on Barry Hawk and then come in, ghost ride the machine by standing up on top of the seat, and ghost rode it across the finish line. But, yeah, I love the finish lines here at Powerline Park. They always seem to bring some special memories.
Yeah, especially, Rodney. When the guys are close like that, you like to see that racing coming into the finish. If they just pop out of the woods, boom, and it's over, it's a little anticlimactic.
Exactly.
So let's get them out there and let's see what happens. Let's rub some tires and make some yells. And here comes Adam McGill on our screen right now. So he's going to the center island of the property right now, Rodney, is what we call it. There's a big island right up there where he's going. It's just a big patch of woods, and it's all fields around it. And, the dust doesn't seem to be coming any type of a factor today. It's pretty open out here, and the wind's been blowing pretty good, and, it doesn't seem to be affecting his vision at all. But the next picture we should see is Chris Borich.
Yeah. And then
has Bryson Neal caught him?
Yeah, and then we'll see whether or not Bryson and Jared, how far they are behind there. So we are looking actually about a minute and a half between second and third. That was the gap of 129.187, then 25 seconds back to Neal from Chris Borich. But again, 40-second faster lap time. 41 seconds if you want to get specific, I guess. But regardless, we watch, we wait with bated breath at this particular point as they switch back here at the 6-mile marker. Look at, and that shot right there, you can see the beautiful, even though it's a little overcast, but those fluffy clouds with the overcastness, the power lines, I think that's a true picture of what Powerline Park is right there.
Yeah, Rodney, it sure is. And the weather here could not be better for racing right now. It's nice, cool temperatures. These guys don't have to worry about overheating. It's just full-on racing out there. There's a little bit of moisture in the woods, like I said earlier, but the wind's been picking up, so it's got the open fields out here, a little bit of dry, but it's great for racing. And here we go back to the Powerline mud hole jump there, and we got guys going around it, and it really hasn't become a factor like it has in the last few years, Rodney, where everybody's been stuck, and it's been real critical to get through there. But this year it seemed like it's not as bad as it has been in the past, and that's all right, though. The mud fleas are still down there just in case it does get bad.
Yep, there's a few of them starting to make their way back up here toward the finish line, I'm sure.
There's Chris Borich. Looks like he's looking over his shoulder at something or somebody.
Yep. All right, let's put a clock on it. See what the gap is. Is that?
Here they come. They're freaking rolling, Rodney. Look at them.
4 seconds.
Wow.
Wow, I'm going to say it might have been a little bit longer than that, maybe 6, but 4 to 6 seconds. Oh, okay. Sorry, it just seemed like such a lot longer than 4 seconds, though. But man, 4 seconds. Now, what did I tell you? Looking at the clock, this is what we saw developing right there.
They're not even halfway around right now. They've gained that. What was it? 20-some seconds he was ahead of them. 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they're down to 4 to 6 seconds. Them boys are on the move.
They are most definitely right there. Is going to be the exciting part of the race. At least that's what it's looking like it's going to unfold to for the moment.
Even the aggression, Rodney, coming right here through this little S corners. Chris was just kind of going through the motions, and those two guys were sliding sideways. They were attacking the turns, so they were.
Yeah, and the Borich knows they're back there. He's looking hard behind him right now, so he knows they're there.
Maybe he's missed his setup again this weekend. He's struggling, or something's up, or he's just not feeling it, and he's just gonna try to get that third place finish.
I think we just saw Jay Shadron making his way by there just a moment ago. And as we check our overall again, it's Walker Fowler, Adam McGill, and Chris Borich with 2 riders hot on his rear wheels. Bryson Neal, Jared McClure. Are they going to be able to take the champ? We'll find out. Stick around. GNCC continues after this.
General RV is going to help you go camping with locations across the nation and thousands of RVs to choose from. General RV is the nation's largest family-owned RV dealer. At General RV, you'll save thousands on everything from trailers that sleep the whole family right up to motorhomes that are amazing and so economical to travel in. General RV is the only dealer who can show you this much and save you this much. With a great deal from General RV, you'll discover how much fun camping can be.
Any engine, any season, at home, at the track, or on the trail. AMSOIL for any engine.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. Rodney Tom along with Fred Andrews, Megawatt Matt Watson as we roll through the ITP Powerline Park. GNCC here in St. Clairsville, Ohio. 14 years, our 15th running. And Fred, man, having some good times and just anticipating what's going to happen here with this showdown. We see that Walker Fowler stretching it out over Adam McGill. Not necessarily expecting a lot in that battle, but a minute and a half to 2 minutes back behind them. The battle that Chris Borich is about to see himself in is the one that we're really interested in. Bryson Neal closing in to 4 seconds. Jared McClure right behind him, another second or two. So we're looking at a lot of company coming in the way in a big battle, I think, for that number 3 spot.
Yeah, Rodney, for sure. These guys want to get on the podium. Now they can see it. You know, they worked all hard all day to get there, and they're there. Only thing standing in their way right now is Chris Borich. So we're going to have a 3-rider dogfight, I think, for sure, coming into these last few corners. And, you know, it's going to be a hard-fought battle, and these guys know that the more times they can do, you know, like this third-place podium them is almost like a win going into the last race, because these last few races you really want to do good for your sponsors and for everybody and to keep yourself motivated to get all your stuff together to start again next year, because it ain't long, Rodney. We got to start getting ready for next year.
That's hard to believe. You're right. I mean, we're looking at the very end of a championship season right now, and as long as the off season may seem, it's a short off season, a short time to get prepared for the new year coming up there in early March. And like you said, a lot of folks are trying to seal deals on sponsorship, and that is creating, I think, an extra edge even for some of these riders out here, as they got a little bit that they want to try and prove to the prospective or current sponsors. Hey, by the way, folks, you know, we talked about it. We hit it on a little bit ago. Coltrane making his way back out here, or making his way into the XC1 Pro class for the very first time, his pro racing debut, if you will. Richardson has dropped to 19th place overall. That puts him 16th in class, I believe, behind Braden Henthorn. So the first pro race struggles are ultimately real, it looks like, especially for the Coltrane. Looking back there at the top amateur, 15th place overall right now, Wesley Wolf, your college age 16 to 24-year-old. Now, he is 15th overall, 14 XC1 Pro riders in front of him on adjusted time right now. Greg Covert runs 2 minutes, 46 seconds behind him in second place. He's top 20. So that tells you that these front 20 guys must really be doing something to be going that fast and have that much of a lead over the rest of the field.
Yep, you're right, Rodney. You know, everybody's really going fast here today. As you can see out on the track, almost all the pictures that we can see here on the TV, these guys are actually really pushing it hard. And, you know, I don't know if it's more open and it's really good four-wheeler track today where these guys can be aggressive and they're all feeling real comfortable out there or what, but these guys are really putting some fast lap times in today, whether you're Walker Fowler or whether you're, you know, Cole Richardson all the way at the end. You know, I think going on Cole's part, there's very few guys, I don't know if there's anybody that's jumped out of XC2 class their first time in XC1 and really put it to them. I think everybody jumps up in there and you kind of got to refigure the game out. So I'm really not surprised to see him not to have the day he kind of wanted to have, but I'm not saying next week he'll be back and he'll be better. He will have learned something today, and that'll carry him into the next round, Rodney. It's not an easy transition is what everybody thinks it is, because when you're up there in the top 10 every week and you're not starting in the class, it's a total different ball game, and I think Cole Richardson just found that out today.
Well, I'll tell you what, his teammate Walker Fowler is about to find out what it's like to stretch the points lead out and head into the final round of GNCC racing, as he is some 4 minutes away now from an expected arrival at the finish line for the checker flag and the win here at Powerline Park GNCC. That will be, I believe, his third win here and his second consecutive win here in Ohio at Powerline Park. And this one could be more monumental than any in the past, because as we had mentioned earlier, this could be the pivotal point of this GNCC championship. As tight as the points have been, and as much as they have gone back and forth and closed up and reeled out over the course of this year, these final two rounds, these final three, or four for Adam, because it was round 10 that kind of took the wind out of his sails, finishing 9th there in New York. But obviously, Walker has taken advantage and controlled the situation and circumstances. He has done it quite convincingly. And now these final races are, again, making for another exciting climax to the GNCC season.
And there he goes, I think, Rodney. Just did the old fist pump at the Powerline Park mud hole jump. You know, and you can see the mud hole's empty just about now.
Yeah.
Everybody's come to the finish line.
Yeah,
Rodney.
I looked down.
They've all made that transition from mud to finish.
Yep, that's it. And then they'll be at the podium to congratulate Walker Fowler here in just a few moments, as he's one step closer to being only the 4th GNCC ATV racer to be crowned a champion in over 2 decades, nearly 3 decades. As so far over the course of the last 22 years, Barry Hawk, Bill Balance, and Chris Borch are the only 3 to be crowned champions in the last 22 years. Walker Fowler could make history and be the 4th. Now, we're going to still have to wait until after the Ironman GNCC to make sure that that is going to be able to happen, because there's still a lot of things can happen. A mechanical issue, a DNF there, and a good day of racing by Adam McGill could change the face of this championship one more time. But I'm not going to try and jinx anything. I'm just telling you, it ain't over till it's over, and Walker Fowler can tell you that better than anyone, as he lost in the last 100 yards last season.
Yes, he did, Rod. And I remember calling that race, and it was unbelievable. But back to this race here. Adam McGill just went by, so he's a solid 2nd place right now. We're waiting on 3rd place to see if Chris Sports is still leading, or if Bryson Neal has put a wheel on him and passed him, or if Jared Merclair could be there. It's going to be exciting here shortly, Rodney. They're probably due here shortly.
About a minute and a half after McGill is what we would expect to see the battle for the number 3 spot. And we are, like you said, coming up on that minute and a half time. So we should be seeing him pop into sight and into view about any time. So, again, we wait with bated breath. The excitement on this one, the battle for 3rd, and then the excitement up front for the Ohio race fans, the fact that Walker Fowler He is on his way home to history, and one more step closer, I guess I should say, and doing it right here in front of the home state, and literally out his back door, only a few hours, couple hours, if that. I don't even think it's 2 hours to his house. And he is, this is home, this is the stomping grounds. This is his place. This is, well, his family, his friends, anybody that is in support of Walker Fowler around this area is right here. There's Chris Borch coming in, and he seems to be riding with a little bit more fever right now, and he seems to have a little bit of a gap there. Is that 4 seconds opened up now? Well, it's more than 4 now.
Yes, it is.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say about 8, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe those guys caught up and lit a fire under Chris, or
that's what it looked like.
Happened there, but
he
looks like way more aggressive.
That's the most aggressive I've seen Chris Borch riding since, I think, the 3rd turn.
Yeah. He's like, whoa, whoa, I've been here all day long in 3rd. I'm not about to give it up now. I got a little bit left in me. I only got a few miles to go, so let's get there.
McClure making his way by now as here at the 12-mile marker, I believe that Walker Fowler making his way around this racetrack into the closing moments here. As he rounds the hay bales to the cheers. We can hear him clear here on top of the hill. The fist pump to the hometown crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes your ITP Powerline Park GNCC champion, one step closer to the national title, Walker Fowler. Wow. Could you hear that crowd, Fred? I've got my headset on, and I could hear the roar of the crowd at the finish line over my headset as...
And here comes Adam McGill in for 2nd place. He's not giving up at all, riding. He's still riding the wheels off that thing, knowing he's keeping his championship hopes alive.
No doubt about it. 36 seconds, almost 37 seconds at the end of lap 3. He dropped it down to 27 seconds there, so he dropped an entire... or 26 seconds, so he dropped an entire 11 seconds off his lap time last time around, or at least closed up that gap. A 29.17 for Fowler, 29.06 for Adam McGill, but we, again, wait. Chris Borch had that 8-second gap between he and Bryson Neal, but what kind of obstacles and lap traffic lay before them before they make their way here to the 12-mile marker and the closing moment of the Powerline Park GNCC. How aggressive is the old champ racing now? Chris Borch under pressure for the 3rd place position. Can he hang on to it and capture another podium spot? And that's the kind of things that you want to see Chris Borch do. And the reason being because you know that it means that he's still there and he's still got that fire. He's still got the thrill for going GNCC racing. And that means that he is still working on making a winning combination with his new brand here after 1 year of racing. He's dedicated to the Yamahas and trying to make them work. And let's see, are they going to work for him as he's working it? And I believe that's him coming in. Nope. Thought that was him there for just a second, but then I noticed he didn't have the red gear on.
Yeah, it's as you noticed. It's the first time I've seen Chris Borch with all red gear on. I think he's been really hard to pick out today.
Yeah, so...
You know, on the other hand, Rodney, you know, he wants that 3rd really bad to make himself, you know, because he knows he's a past champion, and here he comes. It looks like Bryson Neal is freaking right on his tail.
Wow, that 8 seconds now down to probably about 2 as we wind our way through the closing moments and the battle for the final podium spot here at ITP Powerline Park GNCC. Can the old champ make it happen? Final turns now as he's just moments ahead, and yes, he will. Chris Borch will hold on for 3rd place overall, but how about it for the Ohio race fans that just saw the push coming from the young Bryson Neal? We've seen a lot of great things out of that rider, and Fred Andrews, I got to tell you something. As McClure, I believe, comes across in the number 5 spot, I should say. The one thing that you got to point out about Bryson Neal, a young rider, though he is probably one that has had the least amount of struggles making the transition from XC1 to XC2. He is a top 6 rider, and he's been top 5 all season long, and he is not afraid to go head-to-head with anyone. You say Chris Borch is ahead of me. He respects Chris Borch and everything that he's achieved. But you know what? In Bryson Neal's mind, he's just a racer. He goes after him just like he does anybody else. And Bryson Neal may be a rider we want to keep an eye on in the coming next seasons, because he is going to be one to watch. Could it be Walker Fowler's next thorn, next nemesis? Hey, wouldn't surprise me a bit. But your top 3 overall, Walker Fowler, bringing it home here for the Ohio race fans. Adam McGill in second. Chris Borch taking home the number 3 spot. Yep, and we're going to check out our Twitter contest winner. It is Chip Gooseman, Hawk, Sloan, and Balance. That's a hashtag throwback right there at GNCC Live. Chip, thank you very much for the chuckle, that's for sure. But you know what? At one time, that might have actually been the way it all came down.
Yeah, all 3 of them are definitely true champions right there, Ron. And they did a lot to bring ATV racing to the limelight. You know, they brought it to where it's at today, and these guys are just stepping up. And right outside our window, Rodney, we got one up on his lid. But going into today's race, Rodney, it was a great race today. I expected, like I said, Walker Fowler being a hometown boy, home Ohio, for him to do what he did today. Adam McGill rode a great race. You know, and Chris Borch, you know, he came in 3rd place today, so that's a little stepping stone to get him to where he needs to be for next year. And like you said, Bryson Neal, been impressed with him all year long. He's been getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So next year he will definitely be a force to be reckoned with. Not that he isn't now, but he's going to have a year under his belt, so he's even going to know more.
You think about this, Bryson Neal comes into this year, he's never ridden a Yamaha in his life. And he gets together with his new mentor there, and they're able to not only put together a great Yamaha program, but one that works and suits and fits Bryson Neal's capabilities and style. And it all comes to fruition. And man, when you come out swinging like he did in Florida, and you just continue to swing in this slugfest of a championship in 2015, you're gonna raise some eyebrows. And I think that he raised some eyebrows. And if that's just the way it's going to look in his first year on the Yamaha, you have to wonder if that means that next year's only going to be that much better. I'm excited at what the future holds in GNCC. It only gets better every race, I think.
Yeah, running to and going back to Bryson's new situation, that just shows me that he's really comfortable with the crew that he's with. You know, the bike is great, as we know, because Walker's doing good on it, but the crew, the people that he has built around him, if you're not comfortable with the people around you, you're not going to do as good. You know, he's really comfortable, his crew is good, and he just has confidence, and that's something maybe that his new crew brings to him, I guess. I'm just trying to say that you can be a great racer, but you need a great crew with you also to give you that extra little bit.
Exactly, and all the right elements and all the right places produce winners, and I think that's what we're seeing happen there with that program. Well, it's Walker Fowler taking the win, Adam McGill second, Chris Borch third, Neal is fourth. Jared McClure, I believe, has yet to check in. Wait a minute. Yep, he has checked in. I just didn't push that button. Jared McClure checks in fifth, Jay Shadron sixth, Chris Bithell seventh, Kevin Yoho eighth, Josh Merritt ninth, Brian Wolf rounds out your top 10. GNCC Live will continue in just a moment as we've got podium presentations coming up right after this.
Folks, we're going to get our top three rounded up here in just a minute. Walker Fowler with the overall today. Adam McGill in second place. Get these guys up on the podium here in just a second. Get our podium underway.
This RacerTV live broadcast is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. By Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready. By Maxxis Tires, find your flow. and powered by Yamaha generators.
Welcome back to the IATP Powerline Park GNCC. Rodney Tomlin along with Fred Andrews, also Megawatt Matt Watson down on the podium as we'll be heading down there in just a few moments. We've captured our top 15 in the XC1 Pro class, and amazingly have yet to see our winner check in the XC2 Pro-Am class. Marty Christopherson, Randy Hamilton, Danny Rogers, James Green, and Cody Collier were your top 5. But it looked like that Christopherson and Hamilton definitely had that first and second place dialed in. Rogers should have had third place dialed in. We'll know more coming up here pretty soon. As you heard the machine revving up down on the podium at Max's Victory Lane, Fred Andrews, the panic rev, if you will. There was no panic in that rev. That was a celebratory rev right there, and the Ohio race fans love it because they know they're just one step closer to seeing their guy, Walker Fowler, being crowned a champion. But we got one more race and one more wall to go through, and that is the Ironman, and that is Adam McGill at that Ironman to see whether or not that championship is going to be his. But one step closer, no doubt about it. Let's head down to the podium. Ohio, make some noise. Megawatt Matt Watson, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, you heard him. Let's make some noise, you guys. Make some noise. That's what we're talking about here at Powerline Park. Third place today, Chris Borsch. Chris, I was just telling you, man, on the screen, a really impressive ride, dude. The lap times look good. You were moving around in the pack right there, and you were in the hunt all day long, man.
Yeah, I felt good at the beginning, and then made a couple mistakes, and those guys got me. And once you lose sight of them, it's hard to keep the pace. But tell you what, the Yamaha is actually working really well. I mean, it's been just a struggle all year, just trying to adapt to it and run my program, but it's a heck of a bike. I mean, it's really working well, and I mean, it's pretty good. So I can't thank Donnie and those guys enough for helping me out this year, and hopefully years to come.
Well, I tell you what, man, it's only been a season now, and you look very comfortable on the machine. You know, you said it took some time, and definitely always takes some adjustments. But I want to tell you, you and the Blue Crew getting along just fine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been with the other brand for a while, and just switching bikes. I mean, they're two totally different bikes, and so yeah, it's just been a kind of a struggle for me just to adapt and get used to it. But I mean, towards the end of the season here, we really put our work in with Fox. Ryan from Fox came in, and the Walsh components are working awesome, and Alaska Motors getting better and better every time. We just don't know how far we can go, so it's just been baby steps, but it's definitely working out really well. And I mean, I can't thank all the people that's behind me with it. My mom, my dad, my wife Dawn, my brother, my buddy Steve, my friends at home that push me mountain biking, road biking, and even getting on this machine. And yeah, Max's tires. I mean, without these hooking up out there, we wouldn't get no traction. So I can't thank Maxis enough for making an awesome tire. Yamaha for sure, webcam, Fly Racing for keeping me looking fly in this stuff. So Walsh Racing, SSI decals, AMSOIL, Renthal bars, Hyper wheels, Celodyne, DID, DP brakes, Yield Cycle Bone, Scott goggles worked awesome out there. Precision tire balls. I mean, it's a must out here. You definitely got to keep going, and with the rocks and stuff that we run and hit through, I mean, the balls are the only way to go. So I can't thank Mark Harris enough from Tire Balls. Acerbis, Weisco, Alaska, HMF, Hinton, Trek for keeping me fit. And I mean, if I forgot anybody else, thanks for everything.
Well, right on, Chris. Great ride today, and congratulations on third place, man. You look great out there today.
Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, make some noise, you guys. Chris Borsch, hard-fought third place today. You better believe it. All right, over here into the second place right now is the West Virginia wild man himself, Adam. You had a little look of disgust on your face when you come off the track, and you're one of them guys, you have no poker face, man. You're not a card player by no means. Tell us what's going through your mind, man. Tell us exactly what you were thinking when you pulled off the track.
We definitely had a good start. I mean, the start's on point. You know, the motor pulled good. The 24-volt Dirtworks, you know, fired it up. CSC tires, you could tell, could pull me awesome at the first turn. And, you know, everything went well. We got down to Gus's mud hole down there, and there was essentially it was a ghost town. So I made a decision, went way left. They snuck inside me. I ended up getting Chris, and couldn't Walker ended up putting about a 10-second gap on me that first lap, but I couldn't close it. I mean, I closed a little bit on the end, but Damn, it's so hard to make up time here. When you get a little bit behind, man, you're a lot behind up here. So, you know, hats off to all the fans, everybody down at the mud hole deal. I mean, we put on a show, and I did the best I could, but, man, Miss Honda just keeps on ticking. I can't break it, I guess.
Well, I know one thing. If anybody could break it, it would be you, definitely. Hey, outside of the hundreds of members of the Mafia out there, who do you want to thank today, dude?
Definitely, you know, my dad for building this bike, you know, my mom, my sisters, my fiance Haley, you know, the hours we put in is definitely hard on the family, so, you know, them for sure. CST Tires, like I said, hooked up great. You know, we have PirateMX.com helping me supply this thing with parts. Lone Star, DeRisi Racing, Spider Graphics, you know, we Baldwin with the hole shots and everything, like I said, FMF, Custom Access Shocks. We have IMS tanks, GoPro, Get It Performance makes us skid place. They're badass products, guys. RG Honda, you know, supply me with this brand new ATV. You know, I haven't been able to win on it, but it's holding in right there. So, you know, Hyper Wheels, Dynamic Designs with my pit shirts, Cycler hand guards, ODI, Dirtworks 24-volt, UPP, Wiseco, Vanilla Gorilla, Liat Fast, Twin Air. We have Sunstar, JT, DP Brakes is here today. You know, you guys need to check them out. Good product, good bunch of people. Scott Goggles, Work Connection, RJR made a new bumper for this weekend, so guys are available. You guys can pick them by the line of bumpers. We got a line of heel guards as well. We also have Streamline, Quad-Tech, Maxima, All Balls, Outerwears, Mayor, Alliant, Boysen, and Throttle Out. You know, and you Mafia fans out there, stop by and get some armor. Let's get through the rest of this day. Let's go home and drink some.
Right on. Congratulations. You guys make some noise for Adam McGill right now in second place. Dude, I know we can count on you the last round 110%. I know you'll take it all the way to the end for sure.
For sure, for sure. We'll be right there. We'll take this new quad they supply me with that RG Honda machine, and well, hopefully we can beat this Yamaha-supported guy right here. And if we do, we do. If we don't, I'll be there to shove him right through it.
Hey, they build them every day. Beat it up. And over here, hey, look at this. Walker checking out that trophy. You know, Racer Productions gives some of the coolest trophies ever. Every week they're custom made to wherever we're at, whatever the feature is. Last week at Somerset, naturally, windmills. Down at the Big Buck, antlers, you know, and that kind of thing. So, hey, Walker, I got to ask you. First thing you come up, I said, check out that clutch basket. How cool is that trophy, dude?
This thing is really awesome. Whoever designed it did a heck of a job, and whoever's clutch basket it was, they definitely needed to change it sooner than it came out of the bike.
It looked like Borsche used that clutch right there, dude. That's exactly what that looks like to me. It looked like Chris used that clutch. So, hey, man, here we go. WF way fast. Walker Fowler out there one more time with the win. Hey, what was it like with these guys over revving back there, pushing, hitting the rev limiter? What was it like today?
You know, Powerline Park's notorious for being a pretty fast but hard to pass, and like I said, just open and just, man, just run her as hard as you can for as long as you can. Hold on, get you know, bonsai the mud, and you know, wave to the fans. And you know, today, get a good start, get up front early was key. Adam obviously got the whole shot. I was second, Chris was third, and obviously that's where we stayed the rest of the day. Well, I ended up getting around Adam first lap down at Gus's mud hole. He just got a little confused, and I remembered how we got through it last year, and I kind of soaked my gloves, but Chris and I both made it through there and actually got around Adam. And then I'm not sure if it was an FMF PowerPoint or what it was, but it was just a whole bunch of hills and leaves and chaos, and we all kind of went up side by side, and Adam ended up getting back around Chris, and you know, it was pretty much just game on from there. You know, like you said in his interview, and you can't let anyone get away. If I let Adam get away, it's so hard to catch up, and if I get away, it's unless we make a mistake, it's hard to catch each other. So, you know, I saw Adam kind of made a bobble, and I just, you know, I pushed and just tried to get a gap and you know, kind of build on it.
One more step, you know, one more rung of the ladder. What's to happen next, man? What's the plan?
We got to get 11th place at Ironman, and I think that's pretty achievable, but at this point, you know what? We had a blast. If we go out there, we don't finish the race, Adam wins. You know, hats off to whoever gets it done, because we put on a heck of a show all season. It's been fun. It's been friendly competition, and you know, I definitely wouldn't want to share it with anybody else. I got to do it with Chris last year, and he's still a top-notch competitor, and you know, I get to do it with Adam this year, kind of the people's champ. So it's been an honor 2 years in a row to be in this position, and you know, if we capitalize on it, awesome. If we don't, hey, you know what? We were here. We tried.
Wow, unbelievable statement right there. Now, we saw all the fanatics out there today, man, helping you along. I know you've got a bunch of other people that help you each and every week, but I got to ask you quick and ask the crew. after the break, it looks like the style has changed just a little bit. Looks like that thing is coming out of corners a lot flatter, man. Make some adjustments during the break?
You know, we worked really hard to keep a good setup, and you know, not only did we do some motor adjustments, with some tire ball adjustments, some you know, tire pressure adjustments, working with the Maxxis tires, some Fox suspension adjustments. Got my good buddy Luke Barker here training me. I got lazy over summer break, and he noticed that and said, "Hey man, you know, it doesn't come very often that you're in a position to win a championship. It's time to, you know, quit eating Dairy Queen and let's go win a championship." So my buddy Luke, thank you, man. I appreciate you getting me in the gym every day, and it's unreal. I mean, I feel good. I feel like I could do another 2 hours. Obviously, it's cold today, and you know that makes a difference. But you know, Mark continues to just you know, amaze me. I honestly can't push this bike hard enough. And, you know, that's a statement for not only Mark's ability, but, you know, the Yamaha brand.
Right on. Well, congratulations on first place today. We're going to get you guys the bubblies. Anybody else you want to put on the list?
I definitely got to give the glory to God first and foremost. And Chuckle Master, thank you for coming over and praying with us before the race. Like I said, my mechanic, Mark, thank you so much. My mom and dad, thank you guys so very much. I appreciate everything you do for me every day and deal with the headache that is myself. Definitely want to thank the Notman family. Thank you guys, the whole Richardson crew. You know, too bad for Cole today, his pro debut, but this is the time. If you're not going to finish, you know, it's today. So, you know, congrats on the try, buddy. All my fans, oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Ohio in general, you guys make me so happy to win at the Ohio stands. Everyone down at the Muddle, thank you guys. That was a blast. Definitely got to give it up to, where's my man Van at? He's fighting a blood cancer right now. Thank you so much for braving the cold. I really appreciate it, Van. All the women, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It might not be Ironman, but it's October. Thank you for fighting and those that we've lost, you know. Hey, you know, we just got to, we'll figure it out. We're going to get a cure, and everyone will be better. Definitely got to give it up to NFAB and Pro Yamaha, man. This bike is just so awesome. Toby Reed at Moto Experts, good grief. Like you said, this thing is just, you know, it comes out of corners flat, but, man, we got some power going to the ground. Lone Star, Maxxis Tires, Hill International Trucks. They're right down the street. Thank you, guys. Definitely got to give it up to ATVriders.com. And then Miss Amy McConnell with XC Photos. Thank you so much. Fox Suspension, Ryan's here. Thank you, guys. Tire Balls again. My man, Mark Harris. Thank you. Hyper Wheels, Vortex, Outerwears, Precision Yam Lube, Moto Seat, Anti-Gravity Batteries, Cycler Lee at Wiseco, Fuel Customs, Waynesburg Yamaha, IMS, CV4, Works Connection, GYTR, DID, Dragon Racing Fuels, D4 Power Sports, Pro Taper, holy cow. Paul Turner, thanks, man. Bell Helmets, Wrath, Aluminum Components, our good friend and who actually got me started, Kim Coonley. You guys might know the name. He's kind of my inspiration for riding the Banshee. He had some issues, so Kim, get well soon. Thank you for, you know, watching all these years, even after retiring as a pro GNCC Yamaha rider. And again, just all my fans, thank you guys so much. You're awesome. I really appreciate it.
All right, everybody, give it up one more time. We're going to give these guys the champagne. Let them have the little champagne spray right now, and stand back and enjoy this celebration with each and every one of these guys.
Well, there they are, folks.
Getting the whole shot today was Adam McGill as well, so as soon as we blow off this bubbly, we'll present him with his whole shot check, and we'll get our XC2 class up here on the podium.
Your top three overall. Put your hands together. In third place, Chris Moore. Second place, Adam McGill. And your winner, Walker Fowler. Crowd going nuts down there again. All right, guys, let's get ready to bust the top off these bubbly here and celebrate this the right way. And I just got to say, man, wow, Walker Fowler picked up a sponsorship from Holy Cow. How did he get his sponsorship?
Holy cow, I don't know, but I want Holy Cow.
I know.
That's a cool sponsor.
That is a cool sponsor. $250 going to, looks like Adam McGill, but first let's do the champagne celebration. We'll go down and talk with Matt Watson again here in just a second as the guys are laughing and the crowd is a-cheering. Ladies and gentlemen, so we always say in GNCC, to the victor goes the spoils, and the spoils in GNCC, the sweet, sweet spray of champagne.
And the bubbly flows. Hey, Adam, we mentioned you had the whole shot there. Adam will get you turned around here with Ken Hill. You got the whole shot, of course, so compliments of AMSOIL, an extra $250 in your pocket this week, and I know you, man, you'll put that to good use on something good, like maybe some Bill Clinton posters or maybe some Army Energy drink, my man. So congratulations to you, bud, for sure.
Thank you.
All right, Adam McGill gets the whole shot. Walker Fowler steps one step closer to becoming a GNCC ATV champion. The swag is flying, Fred Andrews, and this XC1 battle wraps up today. Man, what a day today. And by the way, XC2 Pro-Am class finally checking in with us. We got Marty Christopherson, Randy Hamilton, and Cody Collier going 1, 2, and 3 in that one. But final thoughts on this one, Fred. I know coming into this one, it was a pretty heavy day for both those riders, Fowler and McGill.
Yeah, Rodney, like I said, they came to Ohio, so I expected Walker Fowler to win. Now he's got a few more points cushion. Like he said, he's only has to finish in the top 11 at the final, which should be easy, barring any injury or bike problems, but it's racing, Rodney, so anything can happen. The 11th place seems like, oh, shoot, just show up and get 11th, but it's not that easy. So we know it's far from over. It is a little bit better for him, as far as his nerves and stuff going into that, but I expect him to go there to win that race, not just to cruise around and get 11th. He came here today, he won the last race we had, so his momentum's really going. His confidence is up, and I see him going to Ironman and just doing what he knows how to do, win races.
I think
and that's Adam McGill's. Even if Adam McGill is up there and wins or fights him to the finish, it's not going to be Adam's season, but it'll be Adam's day. So it's going to be interesting no matter what. But my Twitter prediction is Walker Fowler's going to go out there and he's going to win that race too. He's got the momentum going. I'm sure everybody else is going to be close to him, but I think it's Walker's year, and yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Well, I think you're right. I think we're going to have a great race. We had a spectacular race. A lot of things weighing in on this one, and it's just a matter of carrying it on through. Can Walker continue to walk on to the end of this one and claim that championship? Stick around, and we'll come back in 2 weeks, find out for the Ironman GNCC as we'll be heading down there. Congratulations, Wesley Wolf, 13th place overall, your top amateur. And again, Marty Christopherson, Randy Hamilton, and Cody Collier, your top 3 in XC2 Pro-Am. On behalf of Megawatt Matt Watts and my good buddy Fred Andrews here, I'm Rodney Tomlin saying good day, everything. And remember, words mean something.